50th goal here at Scotiabank
31.
Arena.
That's young. I'll take it.
That's young, right?
That's young. Trust me. All right, we'll take a quick break. On the other side, we'll get you set for Puck Drop. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck, 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
And now it's time for our Subaru weather report. So, Harold, what's it looking like?
Jim, we can expect more thunderstorms as the evening approaches, and then overnight... Oh, hold on. Yeah, can I get 2 number 6s with a side of curly fries? Hold the onions, please. Yeah.
Harold, are you in the drive-thru right now?
Jim, no one listens to this. Oh, thank you. Yep, great.
Weather reports don't matter when you drive a Subaru. Visit your local Subaru dealer today and book a test drive during the all-weather drive event.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick single-family homes come with a long list of features you've always dreamed of. Gourmet kitchens, freestanding tubs, and even fully finished lower levels. Dare to compare and you'll see why it's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important news bulletin. Desjardins Insurance was spotted downtown helping everyone in its path. Unpredictable weather, fallen tree branches, wayward baseballs flying towards second-story windows. Desjardins Insurance is helping Canadians through it all. Is there nothing this large and friendly ally won't do for neighbors in need? Never before have we seen insurance with a heart so big it shows.
Desjardins Insurance, home and auto. Learn more at desjardins.com/heart.
Their powerful voices transcend language. Latinas in Music, a Sirius XM channel featuring the trailblazing women shaping global culture through song.
Whenever, wherever, we're meant to be together.
Latinas in Music. Throughout Women's History Month on the all-new Sirius XM app. And now for a limited time on Channel 107.
The Point with Boomer Gordon.
Andrew Burnett is your Jack Adams winner. 70 points in 52 games. You project that over 82, Jake. That's an 111-point pace. So they've gone head-to-head with the big boys of the West all year. Andrew Burnett inherited a new GM in Barry Trotz and a sinking payroll. And he's got this team playing as well as any team in the NHL.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter-Miami game.
Messi, up, overhand!
And get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Toronto, they don't have a face card. Like, they don't have an ace. Morgan's a jack. They have so many non-face cards that these guys are going to have to bullpen by committee. Because the real truth is this. They got a good forward group. But if you don't defend against Boston and Florida, you're not seeing Boston or Florida in round 2. That's the exam, and the test will be on this defense.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate. Weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
This is Molson Leafs Hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
There's a Molson with your name on it.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. We got a great game lined up for you here, Justin. Cuthbert, Ailish, Forfar here at Scotiabank Arena. Ahead of Leafs Oilers, we just did our hour-long pregame show. This place is already pretty packed. Not that Torontonians are late to things, but this is one you want to be in your seats for when it gets started.
Yeah, Torontonians have their work cut out for them tonight. Walking into the building today, walking around the city briefly
before. A lot of Oilers fans.
Entering the building, yeah, I saw a lot of Oilers jerseys. So there's going to be some noise if the Oilers, if and when they get on the scoreboard tonight. And, of course, the Maple Leafs Maple Leaf fans, will have to be loud themselves in order to be heard over all the orange jerseys we're seeing. But maybe as the seats fill in, the Leaf fans will populate those. And
I hope so.
Look a little bit more like a home game for the Maple Leafs because it's looking pretty split right now.
Yeah, goodness, this has been a good one. We spent some time with Luke Fox teeing it up, and Justin and I obviously went through a little earlier, but lots of storylines tonight. Zach Hyman on the edge of possibly getting 50 in his old barn against his old team. Now, that's a storyline you love. You got Austin Matthews, you've got Mr. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, no Mitch Marner tonight, but there's just a lot of firepower on the ice tonight, a lot of awards being won between these two. You've got Matthews and McDavid combined to win the last 3 Hart trophies and 3 Rocket Richard trophies. So I know that one is pretty crazy. All out on the ice tonight, the trophy cabinets of these guys. They're still lacking something, though, which is Stanley Cup, but, they can make room for that in their mansions.
Yeah, part of the story is those individual superstars, but part of the story is both these teams have been really disappointed the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years, at least in terms of playoff success. Yeah, the Oilers have had some, but ultimately the ultimate prize still eludes these players. And the thing about the NHL is, generally, if you are transcendent, if you are one of the league's best players, if you're the next generational talent, well, success will find you. And yet for Connor McDavid in 9th year this year, no Stanley Cup. Austin Matthews playing in his 8th year, no Stanley Cup. These guys are still waiting to break through on the big stage. And I'm excited to see the Oilers for that very reason because in the last month alone, I think we've been up here. We've sing the Rangers, we've seen the Carolina Hurricanes, we've seen legitimate Stanley Cup contenders, and it'll be interesting to contrast how the Leafs look opposing the Oilers, but also how the Oilers look overall. This team has been building for a while. They are at full strength right now. They are the best team this month in terms of record and how well that they've been playing. I want to see if the Oilers, who supplemented their roster before the deadline, look like a legitimate Stanley Cup contender. It's been a lot of good Saturdays, a lot of good opponents for the Maple Leafs. This might be the best one tonight.
Would you call this a litmus test, Justin?
I think it would be for both teams. A litmus test for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but the same for the Edmonton Oilers, who have been so dominant but are running into a really good opponent. And we should say that because we talk a lot about the Oilers. The Leafs not at full strength tonight, but still a team with a lot of ambition this year.
So let's go through who's lining up for the Maple Leafs. As we mentioned, a couple injuries and some illnesses, but this is your squad for tonight.
Yeah, Matthew Knies back on the top line with Austin Matthews and Max Domi. Max Domi's tryout on the top line continues, and of course it went well last time out. Bobby McMahon, John Tavares, William Nylander on a second line, and then it's kind of a bottom six. With Connor Dewar, David Kampf, Noah Gregor on a third line, a couple fourth-line players there, Nick Robertson, Pontus Holmberg, Ryan Reeves on a fourth line. So, yeah, if you're going to see the comparison between these two teams, maybe the bottom is where the difference lies. However, that top line for the Oilers, pretty good as well. Draisaitl, McDavid, Hyman, McLeod, Nugent Hopkins,
Look at
Fogle.
This third line.
Kane, Henrique, and Corey Perry will play tonight on the third line. Matthias Janmark, Sam Carrick, Connor Brown. Firepower on all four lines for the Edmonton Oilers tonight. On the back end for the Leafs, Morgan Rielly and Jake McCabe, Simone Benoit, Connor Timmins, Joel Edmondson, Timothy Liljegren, no TJ Brody tonight. His mental reset continues with another healthy scratch. And for the Oilers on defense, Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Desharnais, Kulak, CC, and in goal tonight for both teams, well, not for both teams, but opposing each other, Ilya Samsonov and Stuart Skinner.
Ilya Samsonov getting what is a huge game for him. He has been pretty great since returning from his own
mental
island.
Reset.
Yes, and he's been great for the Maple Leafs since coming back. Of course, Joseph Woll has had a bit of his own ups and downs with injury. He's not even backing up today, so he'll get the whole night off as they play tomorrow night against the Hurricanes, which is another...
Isn't that kind of an interesting...
No.
It's not interesting at all?
No, it's not interesting.
What makes that uninteresting to you?
Because if you know he's going to start tomorrow, why put him through an entire game day prep and everything and have him just be fully rested for tomorrow?
And I suppose why have Martin Jones on this team anymore?
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Use the fact that you have a third goaltender that just wants to sit on the bench and enjoy the view.
I guess why it piqued my interest briefly there was because they are very careful with Joseph Woll. And their carefulness with Joseph Woll has given Ilya Samsonov a lot of opportunity. Of course, he's used that opportunity quite well, just not as well of late. Ilya Samsonov has not been as good in the last week or so as he has been. So another chance to prove himself against a great opponent tonight for Samsonov.
All right, let's talk about the revenge angle that has intrigued us most tonight, and that is Zach Hyman coming into town with 48 goals. The opportunity to score 2 tonight. He is our player to watch, I think. Right? Let's do it.
Yeah, of course.
Presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Now, Zach Hyman, for 1 goal, that's no fun. How about 2? Plus 750 to get 50 goals in his first time in his career at home. Well, his old home in Toronto. I'm sure he'll have a lot of fans and friends in the crowd. I think it would be perfect timing to do so.
Yeah, it seems to be the story that's on everyone's radar, right? And narratives can be a powerful thing when we're poking around on Bet365 because, it would obviously mean a lot to Zach Hyman to score in this building, to score against his former team, to reach 50 goals in an NHL campaign. Who would have thought that was possible 2, 3, 4 years ago, especially when he was a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs. But the Oilers were talking about it. He's playing with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl at least starting tonight on a top line with those 2 players.
They will be giving him the puck.
The Maple Leafs themselves were asked about it, and William Nylander knows just how many he is away from 50 goals. So it just feels like it's one of the strongest storylines woven through this matchup tonight. And when that's the case, well, that's when a bet can cash. So Zach Hyman plus 750 to score twice or more. I feel like that's a decent play tonight.
Well, there's also Connor Brown and Cody Ceci, some familiar faces for the Maple Leafs fans. Obviously, Corey Perry's been a Leafs killer his whole life. He's back in the lineup tonight, looking like he's on that third line with Henrique and Kane. I don't know. It feels like a night where there's going to be lots of goals, lots of firepower. Austin Matthews trying to get on the score sheet, continuing his race for, what's he at now, 57? 57 goals. I mean, he's still got 60, 65 in the sight line. It would be nice to see him get a couple tonight. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, on pace for 69. I mean, the 70-goal dream is still alive after Austin Matthews sort of broke out of his mini slump over the course of the week. It helped because Tyler Bertuzzi and Max Domi were doing a great job facilitating and have been doing a great job facilitating in Mitch Marner's absence. Back to a partnership with Matthew Nyes tonight. But yeah, I mean, if we're going to talk about the Leafs and leading the way tonight with a shorthanded, disadvantaged lineup without Marner, without Tyler Bertuzzi, without TJ Brody, if you want to lump him into it, I mean, Matthews is going to have to be the guy that bridges the gap in terms of the talent divide here. If we're looking just at raw talent, who has more, especially on a night without Mitch Marner, it looks like the Oilers do. But a great equalizer has been and always has been Austin Matthews' goal scoring. So if he can get loose, if he can get a couple opportunities, if he can beat Stuart Skinner on a couple occasions tonight in a high-scoring game, maybe Austin Matthews is who makes the difference.
And you laid it out perfectly in our pregame show. Oilers, they are playing the best hockey they've played in a very long time. Best record in the NHL since U.S. Thanksgiving, since getting their new head coach of Chris Knobloch. It's been a completely different look for the Oilers. They're producing They're disciplined. They're getting goaltending. They're getting all-star contributions from not just the two guys at the top, but a lot of depth. They added the trade deadline. They get Henrique. They obviously thought about a playoff-ready roster, and they did everything they could to prepare themselves as they're one of the favorites, and they were preseason. They're starting to round into form. That those picks, all 18 out of 20 of the Sportsnet folks that picked the Oilers aren't feeling so bad about that pick anymore.
No, they're not. There's every reason to like what the Oilers have been doing. They are definitely a team on an ascension. They are a team that is building. They're a team that supplemented a core and have really covered off on some warts that have exposed them in playoffs in recent past. This team, it's really hard to look up and down that lineup and see any issues. I only see luxuries. A Corey Perry in your bottom six, a Connor Brown who suddenly has 2 goals this month on your fourth line, Adam Henrique playing third line center for you. You just look up and down that roster, and it's really, really impressive. They've been building towards this moment, not necessarily tonight, but maybe tonight in some ways, at least with Zach Hyman on the cusp of 50 goals.
All right, we're about 30 seconds away from throwing it to our buddies Jim and Joe. I'm excited. This is going to be a jam-packed crowd. As you can tell, there's not a lot of empty seats already. And Saturday night, Leafs, Oilers, what else do you guys want?
There's nothing better.
Nothing better.
You said it. The two guys who have owned the Hart Trophy and Rocket Richard over the last 3 years, maybe the best 2 players in the game today on the ice on each side, and 2 Canadian teams that certainly pique our interest. It's going to be a great night at Scotiabank Arena.
All right, Joe Bone and Jim Ralph will have the call of the first period after the break. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
March Madness is finally here. For the best analysis and coverage of the NCAA tournament, tune into Sirius XM College Sports Radio.
Oh, he bangs it home!
From the title contenders to the Cinderella teams, we've got you covered through the national championship in Phoenix.
We really don't know how teams are going to respond in March.
It's all on Sirius XM College Sports Radio, Channel 84, our Power 5 conference channels 371 through 375, and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Point with Boomer Gordon.
Andrew Burnett is your Jack Adams winner. 70 points in 52 games. You project that over 82, Jake. That's an 111-point pace. So they've gone head-to-head with the big boys of the West all year. Andrew Burnett inherited a new GM in Barry Trotz and a sinking payroll. And he's got this team playing as well as any team in the NHL.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Andrew Burnett, head coach of the Nashville Predators. I think Roman Josi gets underrated nowadays.
I think maybe the consistency that he does it every year, you take it for granted a little bit. I mean, he's done everything in this game. His ability to raise his game is very unique. You know, I've been around some really good, great defensemen. He's right up there with them, and he does get overlooked.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
The general manager of the Vegas Golden Knights, Kelly McCrimmon.
Vegas so quickly has become a place where players want to go.
Players appreciate that we're trying to win, and I think we've come to expect it. It's their livelihood and all of those things that go with it. So we try to do what we can to help that happen.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter-Miami game.
Messi, up, over,
and get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Toronto, they don't have a face card. They don't have an ace. Morgan's a jack. They have so many non-face cards that these guys are going to have to bullpen by committee, because the real truth is this: they got a good forward group. But if you don't defend against Boston and Florida, you're not seeing Boston or Florida in round 2. That's the exam, and the test will be on this defense.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM
and the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs and the Edmonton Oilers tonight, and the policemen of the puck precincts are brought to you by Superior Door and Gate Systems, Canada's top choice for automatic doors and security gates, security fencing, and bollards, because security can only be measured by what it will save you. Ilya Samsonov, 18, 16, and 7. 3.12 is goals against average against Stuart Skinner, who has been the workhorse for the Edmonton Oilers. 31, 13, and 4. 2.58 and a 908 save percentage. The Leafs to our right and the Edmonton Oilers to the left, and we're ready to go as the puck is dropped, and it is flipped in by Draisaitl into the Toronto zone right off the hop. Tries to center, and it comes off the wing. Hyman getting it back to the point to nurse a shot, and that was deflected wide. McDavid getting it back to the blue line. Bayame to the near side. Draisaitl down into the corner. McDavid curls out. McDavid upended by Nyes, and a penalty coming to Toronto. Oilers are going to stretch things out. Goaltender Skinner to the bench. And a quick start by McDavid and company, and now the Oilers will try to play keep away here so they can get their first power play unit on, as everybody's gone to the bench. In across the line, and as it is touched by Nyes, he will make a beeline to the penalty box, and the first power play will go to the Edmonton Oilers as we welcome in my broadcast partner, James Ralph Esquire.
Pleasure to be here.
Really?
Hey, well, want to do the injury report now, or?
Oh, well, I guess we can.
Have we got time?
Yep. It's brought to you by Desjardins Insurance, helping Canadians through it all. Desjardins Insurance. Insurance with a heart so big it shows. Visit Desjardins.com/heart today.
All right, we'll start with the illnesses. Tyler Bertuzzi, Ilya Lyubushkin. We'll get to the injuries in a moment.
All right. Oilers with a pass into the slot, intercepted by David Camp. He pushes it ahead, and it's backhanded by Dewar the rest of the way down into the Oilers zone. Edmonton, second in the NHL in power play proficiency. A big hit there by Edmondson as he paced McDavid to the boards. Both of them slashing at one another. McDavid comes away with the loose puck. Saucers it back to the point to Bouchard. Bouchard on the left wing and down low. A centering pass is chipped just wide of the net in front of the goal. McDavid getting it down into the corner and gets the puck returned. Draisaitl to the front of the net. Bouncing puck to the far boards. Trying to keep it in is McDavid. It goes into the corner. Played back along the boards in front for McDavid. Near side and coming across to make a big save off is Samsonov, as right in front of the net was Draisaitl with a one-timer from his favorite spot.
We saw this with Alexander Ovechkin when the Leafs played the Washington Capitals. Even though you say you know Ovechkin is in the circle and the one-timer is coming, you can say the same thing about Draisaitl, but it doesn't seem to matter. But Ilya Samsonov was able to read it and get over.
Leafs get the puck and clear it out at center ice.
By the way, the injuries: Mark Giordano, Calle Yarncroc are out for the Leafs.
Mitch Marner.
Mitch Marner as well as in the Desjardins injury report.
Brought back by Bouchard to the near side. Draisaitl works to the top of the circle, gives to McDavid. McDavid back to Draisaitl. Near corner, back to the left point it goes. Slot for Bouchard, and a shot is gloved by Samsonov, who has started very strongly here in the first period as he has faced the first two shots on goal.
What you like about this from Ilya Samsonov, Joe, is the fact that you had two players in front of him, Zach Hyman, and I believe it was, Zach Hyman and Connor McDavid providing the screen and looking for a redirection. We have seen Samsonov at times have difficulty in those long screen shots.
Leafs win the face-off and shoot it down the ice with a half minute to go in the power play. Second unit on the ice now for Edmonton. Kane in across the line, got upended and knocked down and tripped and no call.
That's a penalty.
Yeah, it sure was. Well, we better give credit where credit is due. Jean Hebert and Kelly Sutherland are the referees. Shot high into the Leaf zone, back of the net, centering pass by Ekholm, intercepted, and the Leafs are out at center. Working in is Nylander on the near side. Stops and let a shot go, and a good pad save made there by Skinner as the puck is back of the net. Nyes out of the box. Nyes in along the end boards, trying to play it around back of the goal. Nyes tied up. Nurse is able to take it away from him, but then Nyes gets it back again on the wing, and Nylander couldn't get around the last check as it's poked out at center ice. Morgan Riley on the wing for Nyes. Nyes is able to play it in. Matthews had to pull up there to allow him to get it into the zone. Oh, and a good opportunity there. Nyes trying to center to Matthews, but it was blocked by the defense stick of the Oilers. Back down into the Toronto zone it goes. Played into the corner. Morgan Riley up the middle of the ice. Flipped out at center ice. Nyes ahead for Domi. And a wrist shot deflected well wide of the goal. Matthews with it now. Matthews into the corner. Domi trying to help out. Puck comes back of the net. And Kulak will play it out and stretch things out as the Oilers and the Leafs are both getting a change in. No score early.
How do you like the pace so far?
I like it. I think it's okay. It's quick.
It's,
you know, as a play-by-play announcer, you'd rather have it a lot slower. Just saying. How are you enjoying it?
Well, I'm with a slow play-by-play announcer.
Centering pass! They score! Rocket McMahon fires it home on the Leafs. First foray really into the offensive zone, and it's 1-0 Toronto. Now it's really picking up.
On a nothing play, it looks like it. The Leafs just dump it in and go after it. As it's worked down the boards to John Tavares, and Tavares, who has been on a roll. It was Timothy Liljegren, Joe, that poked it down the boards. And then retreated back to the right point, but John Tavares, over the left shoulder of goaltender Skinner, gets it on his backhand and just throws it out to the top of the crease, and Bobby McMahon, on the Leafs' second shot of the night, have given them the first lead.
Shot down into the Toronto zone. Out in front of the Leaf goal, a backhand by Hyman didn't connect. Draisaitl along the boards loses it, and Nylander is out. Nylander skating through neutral ice, flips it into the left wing corner. Goes in there after it, but it's quickly played along the boards. And Zach Hyman will drop it off for Draisaitl. Draisaitl to McDavid. Drop pass and a shot. Blockered away nicely there by Samsonov. Into the corner in the Toronto zone. Oilers' big line out there against the Tavares line as it comes back to the blue line. At the point, Bouchard getting it down into the corner for Draisaitl. Pushed back of the net by McCabe. Draisaitl centers! And a one-timer by Ekholm. Rattled wide of the goal and caroms all the way down into Edmonton territory. Bouchard will take it back of the net. Corner, goes in there after it, couldn't get a hit in there on Ekholm, and the Oilers bring it back the other way. Hyman in across the line for McDavid to Hyman, and a one-timer is swallowed up there by Samsonov. The puck may have trickled through behind him, and McCabe got there to make sure it didn't go in the net, and now he's taking exception to some of the antics of the Oilers in the goal crease.
And that was Connor McDavid that Jake McCabe turned around and gave a shot to, but you're right, by the reaction of the people in behind the Leaf net. And then Jake McCabe saying, better fix this. Slid it back into Ilya Samsonov, who had gone down on the butterfly. Looked like he'd gotten all of the Zach Hyman opportunity. But fortunately, Jake McCabe is there to clean it up.
Leafs on the board as McMahon has scored his 12th. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hey, this is Avril Lavigne. Honoring fierce, fearless females for Women's History Month on Queens of Pop. Paying homage to women in music that have pushed boundaries and shattered glass ceilings. Sirius XM Queens of Pop.
Now for a limited time on Channel 79 and anytime on the Sirius XM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the Sirius XM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the Sirius XM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter-Miami game.
Messi, up, overhand!
And get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157
Network.
Alberta boy Bobby McMahon opens the scoring. John Tavares with his 1,030th point on the assist, passing Alexei Kovalev, and now two behind Alex McGillney.
John Tavares now, a point a game in the last 21 games. And he's done it quietly, hasn't he? You know, he's had some 3-point nights along the way.
Leafs get the puck out at center ice. Tavares couldn't get it into the zone. Here's McDavid for Draisaitl, playing it back to the point. Bouchard sends it to his D partner, now to Draisaitl. Draisaitl trying to get around McMahon, gives off to McDavid. Back to the point. Bouchard winds and shoots, and is blockered into the corner nicely by Samsonov. Centering pass was stopped by Samsonov. Draisaitl around the boards for Bouchard. Bouchard getting away from Nylander. Into the slot area for McDavid. Drop pass and a shot. Why Ekholm goes wide of the net. Draisaitl with it again. Draisaitl working back towards the blue line. Sends it back to the net. Cut off by McCabe. He reverses the puck nicely for Riley, who'll get it ahead to Nylander, who backhands down into Oiler territory. Oilers going to the bench. Leafs doing likewise. The Matthews line over the boards for Toronto. Evan Bouchard, the Oakville native, got it to center. Intercepted there by Matthews. Matthews dropping it back. Edmondson got it ahead to Liljegren, who will shoot it in. Down the left wing boards, Edmondson pinches to get it back of the goal. Nyes couldn't come up with it. Matthews does. Domi a shot. Nyes a backhand. And that was stopped by Skinner. Good scoring chance engineered there by Max Domi. Into the corner, and Edmondson crashes into Janmark and knocks him flat. Joel Edmondson's got a little bowl of nastiness going from his breakfast today, I think.
You love the sound of him on the ice, don't you?
Oh, yes, you do. Puck down in the Toronto zone. Both teams changing. 1-0 Leafs. Banked out at center ice for Reeves. He backhands it down into Edmonton territory. Reeves back into the lineup after having his left eye scratched in that fight the other night. Now a centering puck goes off a skate to the near boards, chipped ahead and off of the stick of Robertson, and pushed by Reeves further into Edmonton territory. Down along the boards it comes to the near point. Benoit kept it in momentarily. Henrique will get it out, but now Robertson brings it right back in, and as he tried to get a shot at the net, it goes off his stick and up into the screen and out of play. 10 minutes and 26 seconds to go on a very quick pace. First period, led 1-0 on a goal by Bobby McMahon by the Leafs.
Safe to say this is probably a game that we saw on the schedule back in November, December, and said that could be a lot of fun. Even though, well, I guess at that point the Oilers may not have thought it was going to be a lot of fun, but they were able to get everything straightened out. They're on an incredible run since U.S. Thanksgiving. They're 37-9-3.
Amazing. But how bad were they before?
Which was just as amazing.
Yes.
Cost Jay Woodcroft his job.
Leafs keeping the puck in at the blue line. Fed around back of the net. Cleared around the boards then by Deame. Another hit on the far side. Ryan McLeod taken to the boards. Leafs with a sharp angle shot. And it just went wide as Gregor sent it in off the pad of Skinner. Leafs back to the point. Edmonton far side. And it is chipped by Edmonton out into neutral ice. Leafs back in off the glass. And unable to trap it was David Camp. Edmonton after the puck again. And it'll be chipped ahead and brought in over the line by Evander Kane. Kane dropping it back to the blue line into the corner. Perry getting it back to Kane. Kane sends it to the far side. Loose puck on the wing and a shot. Perry trying to redirect that. And the Maple Leafs come away with the disc and get it ahead to Gregor. Noah Gregor to center for Riley. Across on the left wing, it's dropped off for McMahon with a shot from an angle and caught easily by Skinner and held for a face-off in the Edmonton zone. Skinner is 2-1-0 against the Leafs lifetime. Ilya Samsonov 0-1-1 against Edmonton. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
And now it's time for our Subaru weather report. So, Harold, what's it looking like?
Jim, it's a lovely spring day here on the beach. I came here for some solo time, like I do, but I got hungry instantly, so I went to Bob's Boardwalk Bistro when Bob says, "Sorry, cash only." Luckily for me, I always have a $5 bill stashed in my sandals, so I give it to Bob, and he says, "We don't accept foot money here." That's
Thanks,
how he
Harold.
talks. But now
weather
I'm
reports
starving, and I'm
don't matter
looking for
when you
something
drive a Subaru. Visit your local Subaru dealer today and book a test drive during the all-weather drive event.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important news bulletin. Desjardins Insurance was spotted downtown helping everyone in its path. Unpredictable weather, fallen tree branches, wayward baseballs flying towards second-story windows. Desjardins Insurance is helping Canadians through it all. Is there nothing this large and friendly ally won't do for neighbors in need? Never before have we seen insurance with a heart so big it shows.
Desjardins Insurance, home and auto. Learn more at desjardins.com/heart.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Nice little ceremony during our timeout there. Wendell Clark presenting an alumni jacket to Jerry McNamara, the former general manager back in the 80s, who was there when they drafted
Wendell.
Yeah. And kind of a nice situation there. Face off in the Edmonton zone. Won cleanly by the Oilers, who flipped the puck out at center ice. McCabe trying to get it away from Hyman. Took him out of the play. Banked it out at center ice for Nylander. For Tavares.
Whoa.
And they're going to whistle that down offside. He had to reach back to make contact with the puck, but I don't think he was in complete control of it when...
No, but Willie Nylander, what a clever play, as he got the puck along the boards right in front of the Edmonton bench. And as soon as he touched it, it was a backhand behind the back pass towards the blue line where Tavares couldn't quite scoop it up in full speed.
Now, it's interesting that the Leafs have the last change, and they have decided that it's the Tavares line that's going to be out against the top line of the Edmonton Oilers. And it's down into the Toronto zone. Puck dug free by Morgan Rielly. And Rielly will skate it out of his own zone. He got it up on the right wing. Nylander carries into the zone. Dropped off for Rielly. Closing back in. A goal! Backhand try in front of the net. Edmondson back to the point to Riley. Cross ice for Joel Edmondson. Shot off a leg, goes wide. Great opportunity there for the Leafs, and they could not quite get the puck to the net.
Boy, it was Willie Nylander. Hindsight being 2020, it looked like he had the empty net to just chip it into, but instead held on to it and brought it back the other way. And was unable to get it past Stuart Skinner.
Oilers in over the line. Nyes banking it off the boards and out against Nugent Hopkins. Unable to get to it was Matthews, who gets it to Domi now. Now Domi after a loose puck. Tried to get it away from Nugent Hopkins again, but the Oilers have it under control, and Cody Ceci will get it out and down the ice, and an icing charge is coming against Edmonton. So the Maple Leafs will have a face-off in Oiler territory. You know, back in the old days, it was a more common occurrence for the Edmonton Oilers to be in Toronto. They'd be here 2 or 3 times a year because the Leafs were playing in the Western Conference at that time. And, of course, Gretzky and company would arrive a lot more frequent.
There was never any relief, was there? No. Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg had Dale Howard-Chuck at that time.
Dale Howard-Chuck has more points against the Leafs than any other team, I'm sure. Leafs get the puck in over the line. Long shot. Doesn't make it through from Timmins. He's able to poke it towards the net, but Matthews unable to control it. And now Ceci against the boards to the near side. Benoit couldn't keep it in, but will go back to restore. And Connor Timmins gives it back to him. Simon Benoit sending it in. It banked off the stanchion at a strange angle, but the Leafs taking advantage of it. Couldn't get a shot away, though, with Pontus Holmberg overskating the puck. And now Ceci again getting it out at center. Janmark trying to get it into the Leafs zone. That's drawn a crowd right at the blue line. Oilers have had the only penalty, and it came early on a tripping call to Matthew Nyes. Oilers back in their own zone. Joel Edmondson pinches and keeps the puck in. Down the boards came Reeves. That created a disturbance enough to allow Robertson to a loose puck. Reeves was upended in front of the goal. And now here's a chance on the far wing for Sam Carrick to get it out. Carrick, one of the acquisitions at the trade deadline. Leafs in their own zone. Working out at center, Liljegren with a nice pass for Noah Gregor in on the left wing. Couldn't get around the defense. Gregor taken into the corner then by Darnell Nurse. Puck comes free to him. Played back to the point. Long shot coming. Knocked down in front of the net by Deame. And played out at center ice now by Edmonton, but offside, says the linesman, as Evander Kane was breaking in on the right wing.
It's been a quick first period, but with 6:03 to go, the shots just 7-6 favoring the Leafs. And it was almost as if the Leafs survived that early push by the Oilers off the opening face-off, then at the penalty kill. And really, the Leafs have been the more dangerous team since then. The last 8 or 9 minutes, which has included the goal by Bobby McManus.
Face-off won by Toronto. And Benoit back of the Toronto goal. Perry is up there trying to forecheck as the puck comes ahead. Dewar got it across the line, taken to the boards by Bouchard. The puck comes back to the near side, and Benoit rattle it in off the boards to the far side. Cut off there by Bouchard again. He tries to find his defense partner. Leafs are able to intercept and get the pass in now for McMahon. He couldn't get a shot away. Perry outlets far side, and Bouchard carries into the Toronto zone, into the slot, twisting and turning with it. Bouchard unable to keep it in, trying to get away. There was Tavares. He does, and now what?
Tavares is getting a penalty for holding. Wow. All right. That makes up for that missed tripping call, because you could have called this interference by Bouchard as well, as Tavares trying to get up the right wing boards. Wow. Tavares tried to get up the right wing boards, and Bouchard basically steps in front of him to interfere with him. And when Tavares tries to jump past him, in that split second, took a penalty.
Second power play for Edmonton coming up. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hear the Masters exclusively on Sirius XM. Hi, this is Mike Tirico, and there's nothing like the Masters.
Rory McIlroy, he's thinking grand slam.
The beauty of the azaleas, the passion of the patrons, and the best golfers in the world vying for a green jacket.
They turned right into the cup for John Rahm.
It all makes for one of the most iconic weekends in sports. Join me for live coverage of the Masters beginning Thursday, April 11th on Masters Radio, Channel 92, and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Point with Boomer Gordon.
Andrew Burnett is your Jack Adams winner. 70 points in 52 games. You project that over 82, Jake. That's an 111-point pace. So they've gone head-to-head with the big boys of the West all year. Andrew Burnett inherited a new GM in Barry Trotz and a sinking payroll. And he's got this team playing as well as any team in the NHL.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Stupendously magnificent.
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter-Miami game.
Messi, up, overhand!
And get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
The Leafs Radio Network.
First period presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly. Draw one by Edmonton. McCabe takes McDavid to the boards. The puck is wedged up against the wall in the corner. McDavid trying to pry it free. Doing a great job there is McCabe as the puck finally does come free and is back to the point. Bouchard stretching it out. Down into the corner. Nugent-Hopkins gets it to McDavid. The near side now for Draisaitl. Doesn't shoot it. Hyman stationed off to the side of the net. Now goes to the front of the goal. Puck comes back along the wall. Draisaitl is leveled into the corner there by Edmondson. Back to the point. Bouchard. Down into the corner. McDavid, a centering pass. Blocked by Edmondson off the stick of Draisaitl, and the Leafs are going to shoot it down the ice. Joel Edmondson is on a mission.
I was going to say, he might be the best player on the ice in the opening period. And I don't mean that in any kind of smart-ass delivery.
No, I agree with you 100%. Edmonton back in over the line. Just do keep it in. Draisaitl at the near half boards, down into the corner. Got it back again, tried to center, and a good block made there by Liljegren. Liljegren after it into the corner, comes away with, is tripped. Hello! Shot down the ice, no penalty.
It's accidental.
Yeah, but you don't want to break into this. You want the full 2 minutes. I think that's fair. All right.
Jeez.
Oilers nurse up on the left wing. Bouchard! Welcome to the milk truck. He just flattened Evander Kane with a hit. Out come the Oilers again. 6 seconds left in the penalty. Perry deflects it into the corner. Nurse one-hands it around the boards to the far side. Centering pass blocked. Penalty over. Tavares back on, and he has the puck looking for Nylander. Nylander is tripped. Penalty coming to Edmonton. See?
Get the full 2 minutes.
Good things come to those who wait, Mr. Rob.
I'm not sure what the official is signaling here. Interference is the call. So, and it's Darnell Nurse is going to go. I mean, it doesn't matter what you want to call it.
No.
It might be more of a trip than interference.
16:57 the time of the penalty. And Hamilton native Darnell Nurse in the penalty box. Oiler penalty kill is 12th in the league. The Leafs power play has dropped to 5th, but they've scored in their last 2 games. Domi down low. Nylander slid it just past that far post. Good play by by Liljegren to keep the puck in. Domi on the left half boards. Down low for Nylander. Nylander looking in front. Domi goes to the corner and gets the pass. Centering pass into the far side in front of the net for Nylander. A shot right on. Liljegren got it away, and a good save made by Stuart Skinner.
That was a great saucer pass by Max Domi, who's to the right of the goaltender, Stuart Skinner, near the goal line. Has to lob it over the sprawling defenseman for the Oilers, but the puck took so long to get to Matthews. He didn't one-time it, instead threw it out to the high slot. And Stuart Skinner made a pretty impressive stop on a blast from Timothy Liljegren.
Matthews coming off his 16th multi-goal game of the season. Draw won by the Oilers, and they're going to launch the puck out and down the ice. Timothy Liljegren back to retrieve it. Starts out, carries the puck through center, drops for Tavares. Tavares dropping further for Matthews. His pass went off the stick of Connor Brown. And the Leafs have to go back and retrieve it. Matthews coming through center. Matthews hits the line. Fed in on the left wing for Tavares into the slot. It comes back to the blue line, just kept in by Domi. Down into the corner for Matthews. Matthews double teamed over there, comes away with the loose puck. Got it back to the blue line. Near side Domi closing with a shot. That went off the shaft of the stick of Skinner and went wide. Matthews can't control the puck, but Liljegren keeps it in. Shot scores! A drive going wide, and it goes off the skate in front of the net of Nylander. And it is 2-0 Toronto.
Timothy Liljegren again throws it towards the net. And I'm with you, Joe. I don't think this goes off the stick of Willie Nylander. I think he's in the right place at the right time. As this redirects, low blocker on Stuart Skinner. And this is just a simple play. Throw it to the net. Oh, does he get his stick on it again? We'll take a look. Oh, wow. Off his stick, then off his skate, and into the net.
Yeah, I was with you. I thought it just went off his skate. But Willie Nylander within one of tying his career high. That's number 39 in the books.
Timothy Liljegren with another assist. Raised some eyebrows to see him replace Morgan Riley in the number one unit.
Here's a turnover again, and a shot went just wide. Camp letting it go. Leafs keep it in at the blue line. Good play made by Connor Timmins. Another penalty coming to Edmonton.
Now, this was a trip, as it was Connor Timmins going for the loose puck inside the Edmonton line. Turned and got taken down. And the penalties have all been similar. The first two to the Leafs and the last two to the Oilers. We can forget about some of the stuff in between. But both teams are at 2 when it comes to power play opportunities.
18:33 the time of this infraction. And the Leafs to the power play after scoring with the man advantage to take a 2-0 lead. Here's Domi taking a shot, and it went off a stick and up into the screen, out of play.
Timothy Liljegren, 7 points in his last 7 games now. And a goal, 4 assists coming into this one in the previous 6. So,
you know, sometimes you just need a little patience.
I don't like that.
You've never been patient?
No.
Face off in the zone, won by Toronto. Liljegren, rink wide to find Matthews in the corner. Tried to center, that was blocked. Tavares' speed in front was intercepted. Oilers are able to get it out into neutral ice. And Sam Carrick will play it deeper into the Toronto zone. Minute to go in the period. Now there is. Brought to center, Liljegren dropping. Nylander with speed in across the line, works into the corner, knocked down there by Ekholm. Puck is cleared to the line, not out. Good play by the Leafs to keep it in, and a Tavares shot was blocked. Nylander back of the net. Nylander still with it, trying to find Tavares in front, but it's intercepted and shot down the ice by Matthias Janmark, and down the ice The Leafs will have to go with a half minute to bring it back. Minute left to go in the power play, so the intermission will dissect it somewhat. And a final rush here in this second period. Bobby McMahon couldn't handle a lead pass. And time elapsing quickly as Riley starts out at center. He flips it in and then tries to get down the boards. He was taken out of the play there. A centering pass comes into the slot to Riley and a shot. Oh, and he just missed on the far side. 1 second left. And it'll be too little too late there. But the Leafs will be quite pleased to take a lead to the dressing room. McMahon and Nylander the goal scorers. And it is 2-0 Toronto.
Got the shots at 10-6 for the Leafs. And if I'm not mistaken, was it not 5-1 for Edmonton early on? So the Leafs are the team. And you really thought at the start of this game, Edmonton had so much jumped, and they had the first power play of the game, and the Leafs seemed to get a little bit of momentum off the penalty kill and eventually go up 2-0. And before we all get too excited, let's not forget the Edmonton Oilers' last game at home against Buffalo. They scored 5 in the third period, and a week ago the Leafs had a 3-0 lead against Carolina. So the fun of the National Hockey League, that you love the 2-0 lead, but you've always got to be thinking of getting the next one.
All right, we'll step aside. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert coming along with the first period intermission. 2-0 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hey folks, Conan O'Brien here. My latest episode of Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend features none other than John Bon Jovi. Dove into a lot of topics. We chewed the fat, the highs and lows of rock stardom. They were all my stories about being a rock star, which took about 8 seconds, and then we got into John Bon Jovi.
Now you've set the bar, and now you have to beat that record every time.
Conan O'Brien Radio, Sirius XM Channel 104, or on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Point with Boomer Gordon.
Andrew Burnett is your Jack Adams winner. 70 points in 52 games. You project that over 82, Jake. That's an 111-point pace. So they've gone head-to-head with the big boys of the West all year. Andrew Burnett inherited a new GM in Barry Trotz and a sinking payroll. And he's got this team playing as well as any team in the NHL.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Andrew Burnett, head coach of the Nashville Predators. I think Roman Josi gets underrated nowadays.
I think maybe the consistency that he does it every year, you take it for granted a little bit. I mean, he's done everything in this game. His ability to raise his game is very unique. You know, I've been around some really good, great defensemen. He's right up there with them, and he does get over them.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
The general manager of the Vegas Golden Knights, Kelly McCrimmon.
Vegas so quickly has become a place where players want to go.
Players appreciate that we're trying to win, and I think we've come to expect it. It's their livelihood and all of those things that go with it. So we try to do what we can to help that happen.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter-Miami game.
Messi, up, overhand!
And get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Toronto, yeah, they don't have a face card. Like, they don't have an ace. Morgan's a jack. They have so many non-face cards that these guys are going to have to bullpen by committee. Because the real truth is this, they got a good forward group. But if you don't defend against Boston and Florida, you're not seeing Boston or Florida in round 2. That's the exam, and the test will be on this defense.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
The Leafs Radio Network.
Centering pass, they score! Rocket McMahon fires it home on the Leafs. First foray really into the offensive zone, and it's 1-0 Toronto. Now it's really picking up. Shot scores! A drive going wide, and it goes off the skate in front of the net of Nylander. And it is 2-0 Toronto.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert here after 20 minutes. Leafs lead the Oilers 2-0 at Scotiabank Arena in what was a fun, physical, dynamic, kind of playoff vibe here at Scotiabank Arena.
Yeah, I think you could say that. I thought it was one of the best periods we've seen the Maple Leafs play in quite a while. I mean, it's funny because the Oilers look immensely dangerous.
Oh, every time they had the puck, you're like, oh.
But the Maple Leafs snuffed everything out. Like, they were on point defensively. They were energetic. They had a lot of good contributions up and down the line. If you're looking at this bottom six coming to this game, and you're like, all right, that's not great. Neither line looks like it has much to offer, but they were absolutely buzzing. I thought every line, every pairing played really well. The connectivity between defense and forwards, the amount of energy that's been expended, and the attention to detail, it felt like a really, really strong period. One Sheldon Keefe would be particularly impressed by.
Oh, and like this is the time, and as we talked about it, to be delivering playoff-type performances, elevated performances against an opponent that is playing the best hockey that they've played all season long. They're going at a stride and a pace that is pretty much rivaled by none right now, other than maybe we'll get into it later. The Nashville Predators will give you your out-of-town scoreboard, but the Oilers are red hot. They're playing really good hockey, and the Maple Leafs needed to elevate with some illnesses and with some absences in their lineup, and they looked like right in lockstep with the Oilers that period. 2-0 lead after 20 minutes, 10 shots to 6 shots. They had some opportunities on the power play. It didn't look like a complete disaster. PK, they managed to get the puck out of the net. Like, those are big sticking points right now for the Maple Leafs, special teams and consistency. And they got one. I thought Willie's goal from Lily to Willie on the PP was awesome. Just a really nice pass shot from Liljegren, and Willie just has to deflect it kind of behind his back into the net. And those are things that really make a difference when you look at the confidence that Liljegren has shown lately. 6 points in his last 4 games, and that first period, 14 points in the last 16 games. Like, that's a different Liljegren than we spent mostly more than half a season wondering what his fit was.
Yeah, and with the bulk of this, coming when changes were made to the back end before the stretch drive and ahead of the trade deadline. So Timothy Liljegren definitely responding and really good in that period. But you mentioned sort of the special teams dynamic. Yeah, the penalty kill was tested because there was quite a few opportunities on both sides in that period, but the penalty kill held firm. The power play breaks through with a goal. But I loved 5-on-5, and not everyone's into the fancy stats, but 0.22 expected goals against in the period at 5-on-5, 13 minutes, 5-on-5 against the Edmonton Oilers with McDavid buzzing out there.
That'll do.
Like, that is really, really impressive. And I thought the guys that some people are not so high on or not so sure about, Joel Edmondson in particular, like the physicality that we saw from some of those blue liners. Benoit got a nice lick on Kane. Edmondson was trying to push around McDavid a little bit, like the butchers, as we call them. They had a really, really good period. You blend that with Liljegren's offensive period, it's like, okay, that's exactly what you want from your blue line in big games.
And that was one of the things you said you were hoping to find out from this Maple Leafs defensive core down the stretch was who plays well with who and what is your identity. And if that's the identity you want to play playoff hockey, like, I can hang with it. I thought McCabe and Edmondson, as you mentioned, they were laying bodies. Benoit was laying this huge hit out on Kane, and there's some big guys on Edmonton, and there's some fighters, and there's some feisty players. And the Leafs did not look like they shied away from any physicality in that first period. That's the type of hockey that I think Leaf fans crave from these guys. Matthews isn't going to lay open ice hits, and he's not going to be a dirty guy, but you've added around the fringes to add physicality to your roster, and I saw that almost every shift. I saw something that was either finishing your check or not letting somebody skate by without a bump, or in front of the net, getting your stick on their spine. Like, that's the worst thing ever. But like, just really showing that you're not going to come in here and we're not going to bow down to your type of style. So I thought the Maple Leafs played a really great physicality in that period. And look, they're up 2-0. I think that goes hand in hand.
Yeah, and I think the forecheck is part of that physicality too. Like, as much as you're trying to punish with your blue line when the Oilers are pressing on you, you got to do the same at the other end, where you're trying to beat up and trying to punish and trying to get the attritive aspect of the game working in your favor when you're in the offensive zone as well. And as much as I'm not really looking at this bottom six today and thinking, well, there are a ton of goals there, if you can get licks in, you can maybe make it easier for the likes of Matthews, Domi, and Nyes on that top line, who had some moments. And of course, Tavares, Nylander, and McMahon, who had moments. McMahon with the first goal, Nylander with the power play goal. Like, everybody did their job in that first period. That was as connected as we've seen the Leafs play in a while.
Yeah, Bobby McMahon continues to perform for this team. That was a really nice pass from John Tavares, who's looked like he's found something as of late. Just kind of a behind-the-back pass to the slot, and McMahon wide open puts it in the net. Maybe the steal of the century, that signing of Bobby McMahon for 2 more years. McMatthews, the way he's selling hard, he's really become a big fan favorite here in Toronto. Okay, lots to go through still. We'll take a quick break. On the other side, we'll give you the out-of-town scoreboard and get you set for the second period. Leafs lead 2-0 after 20 minutes. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Today, when it comes to following sports, a basic box score just won't cut it. Get the stats behind the stats with NHL Edge. So you won't just see Makar's time on ice. You'll see where he spent it. You won't just know Matthews scored. You'll know how hard he shot it. And you won't just get OV's shot total. You'll know where he shot it from. Even if they're all from the same place. Know more about every stat, every shift, and every star with NHL Edge.
Take 2 in a truck, 2 in a truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2 in a truck, 2 in a truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 men in a truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
And now it's time for our Subaru weather report. So, Harold, what's it looking like?
Jim, we can expect more thunderstorms as the evening approaches, and then overnight... Oh, hold on.
Yeah, can I get 2 number 6s with a side of curly fries? Hold the onions, please.
Yeah. Harold, are you in the drive-thru right now?
Jim, no one listens to this. Oh, thank you. Yep, great.
Weather reports don't matter when you drive a Subaru. Visit your local Subaru dealer today and book a test drive during the all-weather drive event.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience a new level of luxury at Williamsburg Green. Your new single-family home will have all the modern features you dream about, even a fully finished lower level. Kitchener's newest master planned community with bike trails, parks, and a new library. Williamsburg Green has it all. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important news bulletin. Desjardins Insurance was spotted downtown helping everyone in its path. Unpredictable weather, fallen tree branches, wayward baseballs flying towards second-story windows. Desjardins Insurance is helping Canadians through it all. Is there nothing this large and friendly ally won't do for neighbors in need? Never before have we seen insurance with a heart so big it shows.
Desjardins Insurance, home and auto. Learn more at desjardins.com/heart.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
2 good saves, 3 good saves, another shot, 4 good saves made.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Leafs lead 2-0 after 20 minutes against the red-hot Edmonton Oilers. I know it's Hockey Night in Canada. I know there's been lots of games all day long, so let's take a look around the NHL scoreboard. Presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary. Bet365 must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly.
Yep, another busy night and day in the NHL. 4 finals already. Let's run through those. The Islanders doubled up the Jets 6-3. Flyers got a 3-2 victory in regulation over the Bruins. Blues beat the Wild in overtime, and the Predators remain a wagon. They beat the Red Wings 1-0 earlier today. Ongoing now, the only other game other than Maple Leafs Oilers, Senators leading the Devils 1-0, end of 1. Still to come later, a big one between the Rangers and Panthers, Canucks and Flames on Hockey Night in Canada, and 3 10:30 starts. Sharks host the Blackhawks, Kings host the Lightning, and the Golden Knights will host the Blue Jackets.
That Predators 17-game point streak is now the longest in the NHL this season.
And I don't think they have they don't have a regulation law, obviously, in a point streak. They're just like unbelievable. Thanks, Tip. The Predators, I mean, I'm just flabbergasted by them. They're ridiculous.
I see that.
How are they doing this? YouTube is apparently very powerful.
Okay, let's send it to Joe Bone and Jim Ralph. Leafs lead 2-0 after 20 minutes here against the Oilers. They'll have the call in the second period next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
It's tournament time on Mad Dog Sports Radio. Lock into Channel 82 throughout the day for wall-to-wall tourney coverage. From live listen-ins to Westwood One's call.
UConn has its 5th national championship.
To instant reaction with you on the phone.
The seeding this year has been a mitigated disaster.
Mad Dog Sports Radio is your home for the upsets, the buzzer beaters, and non-stop NCAA tournament coverage. It's all on Channel 82 or anytime on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Point with Boomer Gordon.
Andrew Burnett is your Jack Adams winner. 70 points in 52 games. You project that over 82, Jake. That's an 111-point pace. So they've gone head-to-head with the big boys of the West all year. Andrew Burnett inherited a new GM in Barry Trotz and a sinking payroll. And he's got this team playing as well as any team in the NHL.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter-Miami game.
Messi, up, overhand!
And get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Toronto, they don't have a face card. Like, they don't have an ace. Morgan's a jack. They have so many non-face cards that these guys are going to have to bullpen by committee. Because the real truth is this. They got a good forward group. But if you don't defend against Boston and Florida, you're not seeing Boston or Florida in round 2. That's the exam, and the test will be on this defense.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
2-0 Toronto as we start the second period. Maple Leafs had 16 hits in that first period. And the second period is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance, helping Canadians through it all. Desjardins Insurance, insurance with a heart so big it shows. Visit Desjardins.com/heart today. Leafs to the left and the Oilers to the right. Start the second period.
For Willie Nylander, that is now 6 goals in his last 9 games.
official over at the timekeeper's bench for some reason, and the Oiler in the penalty box, Evander Kane, pleading his case for something or other. And that seems to be the reason for the delay, and now we're ready to go. Leafs have 33 seconds left in the power play as the puck is dropped and we're underway. Nylander sliding it back into his own zone for Liljegren. Liljegren starts out with a pass to Austin Matthews, who flips it in on the left wing for Tavares. Back to Matthews! Oh, and the one-timer went right off the shoulder of Skinner. Oilers get it to center ice. Adam Henrique trying to flip it towards the net, deflected wide, and Tavares turns. Boy, John Tavares made a great little pass there, didn't he? Here's Tavares in on the left wing. Launched high into the corner, knocked down by the Oilers. The penalty box door opens. Kane is back onto the ice, and it's back down into the Toronto zone. Riley got it ahead for Camp. Up on the wing, Nylander chipping it into the zone. Camp goes in after it. Puck comes along the boards. Nylander unable to keep it in, but McCabe does. McCabe to the left wing side. Shot from a sharp angle. Stopped there on the short side as Dewar let it go. Puck back out into neutral ice and down into Toronto territory, forcing McCabe back. He comes up the middle to it. A pass by Dewar didn't connect. McCabe against the boards, frees it up now for Noah Gregor. Gregor with speed down the right wing and into the slot with a shot. That went off the shin pad of Ekholm into the corner. Leafs back along the boards now. Dewar trying to slide it around to the far side to find Benoit. Benoit down into the corner. Tried to muscle it out in front, but it was knocked back into the corner, and Ekholm will get it down into the Leaf zone. Icing waved off as it has been played by goaltender Samsonov. Around back of the net now for Kane. Kane trying to work it into the corner. A centering pass. And Tavares got back to intercept that, but a wraparound attempt now comes in front. Bouncing puck and down is Samsonov to cover up on it. And he will hold.
Boy, John Tavares tries to drop the puck, a little blind backhand pass in behind the net, but does not know that Corey Perry is coming full speed and interrupts that puck before it can, or intercepts that puck before it can get to Simon Benoit. Ilya Samsonov had to pull to attention in a hurry, didn't he?
Did he ever? Face off in the Toronto zone to the left. The second of 4 back-to-back games the Leafs have down the stretch. They will be in Carolina tomorrow. And note the early start time, 6 o'clock tomorrow. Draw is won by the Oilers. They play it into the slot area, but Reeves is there. Reeves getting it elevated through center. Robertson hoping it would settle. Got it off on the left wing. Joel Edmondson with a shot. And that is gloved by Skinner.
Why does he change the dynamic, though? I mean, I'm not sure why Joel Edmondson was the one up on the roster to take that shot. But he does. That big body changes the whole dynamics of that blue line, doesn't it? You throw in Simon Benoit there as well.
Well, and not just hits. I mean, body checks. And
I mean, that's why everybody said, you know, you needed somebody like Luke Shen last year coming at the deadline, because that's an element that was missing. And now
you add Bertuzzi, and you add Domi, and you add Edmondson, and you add Benoit. It's a lot of physicality, right? Puck in the corner. Matthews got it for Nyes, chipped ahead, brought out by Timmins. He gets it across the line, left wing side. Matthews got a shot away, but it was blocked before it reached the net. Oilers counter to center ice. Brought in over the line and a drop pass for Jan Markunding in front of the goal, and he shot it high and wide. Far side for Brown. Brown keeping it in. Pass intercepted by Nyes. Nyes didn't get it up ahead when he needed to get it out, and it slides back into the zone. Boy, he had a chance to move it ahead to Domi, and then tried to make one extra move with it, and then turned the puck over. And those are rookie mistakes that you just can't be making. Not after you've played this much.
And you got to know who you're on the ice against as well.
Kulak sends a long shoot in that is gloved by Ilya Samsonov, and he'll bring a face-off in the Toronto zone. 16:48 to go, second period. 2-0 Toronto. McMahon and Nylander, the goal scorers for Toronto. And the Leafs, 3 straight games with a power play goal in now.
Connor McDavid comes into the game with 86 assists on the season. You know the last player to hit the 100 assist mark in a regular season? 92-93.
Wow.
I'm sorry, 90-91.
Oh.
Somebody that was in Edmonton who went to Los Angeles.
Is he from Brampton?
Yes.
Or Brantford. Back to the point. Kept alive. Bouchard going wide. Bouchard carries to the front of the goal, and the pass went right by the Oiler there, and it's at the blue line, kept in. Far side, and a one-timer tried by Draisaitl didn't work. Robertson is able to launch the puck out at center ice. Oh, it's that Gretzky character.
I think Morgan Riley just got a piece of that pass that was lined up for Leon Draisaitl, the one-timer.
Leafs have to get onside to allow McCabe to get the puck into the Oilers zone. Now here's Dewar into the corner. Centering pass. That was blocked on the short side by Skinner. Camp working out with a backhand pass. Another shot backhanded to the net by Connor Dewar that is swallowed up by Skinner, and a face-off coming in the Edmonton zone. The Oilers, as you mentioned, rallying after the horrific start, are second in the Pacific Division, but they are 8 points in arrears of Vancouver and not likely to catch them. So it appears it's going to be an LA Kings
or Vegas
first round for the. And everybody's sitting there thinking about Vegas. Well, when the playoffs start, they're going to be healthy. Well,
Mark Stone.
Maybe not.
No.
But they are the Stanley Cup champions. They did make some noise at the deadline. A pass to the right wing side, chipped into the zone by Nyes. Down into the corner was Edmondson, but the puck comes free, and it's pushed out at center ice for Ryan McLeod. Drop pass and a shot. Oh, and a save with the left hand. Samsonov snapped that out, and my shoulder hurts just watching that. What a save.
That was Brett Kulak, I believe, the defenseman, following up the play. Oilers take it over the line on the left wing side. Ryan McLeod just drops it back to the blue line. And Kulak rips it. This looked like it might have actually gone over the net. But Ilya Samsonov did not have the luxury of deciding that's going to be an inch higher, an inch lower. And his reaction was a good one.
Face off in the Toronto zone to the left. Adam Henrique taking the face off. And the draw scrum, but it comes back to the point. Kept in by Edmonton. Long shot deflects into the near corner. Leafs get to it first. Reeves will get the puck out. And Pontus Holmberg able to get it onto the left wing side. Back to Holmberg. And boy, I don't know why he tried to do that. I thought he was able to just take the puck on the forehand and drive. Instead, he kind of played it to himself from behind. And the rush bogged down because of it.
Oilers thought somebody was closer to him.
Maybe. Shot down into the Toronto zone. Timmins gets it around back of the net. Reverse the puck, but it's cut off by Darnell Nurse. A centering pass. That was blocked. Reeves gets to it, and he has skating room down the left wing. But then can't carry the puck as it's cleared back into the Toronto zone. Pushed to the line and out. Camp in there trying to get it free. It finally does, and the Oilers have it back in their own zone. Bouchard waiting for teammates to swing. Got it ahead for Ekholm. Ekholm in across the line, dropping it back for Connor Brown. A shot. That was stopped. The rebound came in front. Back to the point. Bouchard wires it over top of the goal. Up against the wall, Liljegren. Too well covered. McCabe in there as well, pinning it up against the boards. Dewar unable to pry it free either. Oilers get it back to the point. Ekholm to his defense partner, gets it returned, now sends it towards the net. That was blocked, and the Maple Leafs are going to get free of it, and it is pushed ahead now at center ice for Camp. Camp in back across the line, trying to find Noah Gregor, but that was out of his reach. Ekholm to the line and in for Brown. Toronto native and former Leaf gets it down into the corner. Played around to an open corner, and Morgan Riley gets there to get it out. Cleared back in by the Oilers, offside. And a face-off coming in neutral ice with 13:23 to go. Derek Nansen and Devin Berg are the linesmen. We've already sung the praises of Kelly Sutherland and Jean Hebert. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Bet365 doesn't do ordinary. That's why they've introduced the Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same-game parlay across different games has never been easier because the biggest games and most popular markets are all in one place. Check out the Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important news bulletin. Desjardins Insurance was spotted downtown helping everyone in its path. Unpredictable weather, fallen tree branches, wayward baseballs flying towards second-story windows. Desjardins Insurance is helping Canadians through it all. Is there nothing this large and friendly ally won't do for neighbors in need? Never before have we seen insurance with a heart so big it shows.
Desjardins Insurance, home and auto. Learn more at desjardins.com/heart.
And now it's time for our Subaru weather report. So, Harold, what's it looking like?
Jim, it's a lovely spring day here on the beach. I came here for some solo time, like I do, but I got hungry instantly, so I went to Bob's Boardwalk Bistro when Bob says, "Sorry, cash only." Luckily for me, I always have a $5 bill stashed in my sandals, so I give it to Bob, and he says, "We don't accept foot money here." That's
Thanks,
how he
Harold.
talks. But now
weather
I'm
reports
starving,
don't matter when you drive a Subaru. Visit your local Subaru dealer today and book a test drive during the all-weather drive event.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey. On Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Mitch Marner missing his 7th game. And the Leafs are 4-1-1 with Marner out of the lineup.
So obviously a no-goal for tomorrow as well, and probably see Joseph Woll. Would imagine, Joe, Carolina.
Think so, would you?
Well, they had a wild one last night, didn't they? Hurricanes.
Here's McDavid working in over the line, dropping for Ekholm. He rings the boards to the far side. Hyman had to go off his stick, and the Maple Leafs are going to get it batted up to the wing and played off the boards into Edmonton territory. Played by Ekholm up on the far side. Draisaitl spins it back, but his pass was intercepted by Tavares. He tried to find Nylander breaking. That didn't work. Here's McDavid in across the line. Knocked away by McMahon. Into the corner, Riley takes his man down. Puck still free, played back to the point. Bouchard trying to get a shot away. Drops it back and then gets it again. A pass to the far side. Good play made by McCabe, and the Leafs are able to play it out and down the ice. Bouchard back with a long up to find Draisaitl. Looking for McDavid. That didn't work in the Leafs counter. Here's Matthews working in over the line. Trying to drop it back, and Draisaitl intercepted his pass. Draisaitl carries around back of the goal. Played out at center ice. Knocked back in again by Pontus Holmberg. Domi out there as well. Puck on the near side for Bouchard. Overskating the puck was Matthews. Carrying it in over the line, and tripped up there was Holmberg. Matthews gets to the loose puck. Centers for Domi. In front, they score! Holy mackerel, what a goal! Pontus Holmberg had a 4x6 to slide in after a wonderful feed from Max Domi.
Austin Matthews will get the first assist, so there was no call when Holmberg got taken down, but Edmonton never got the puck back anyway. And Austin Matthews picks up the loose disc. A great feed by Matthews out to Domi, who's between the hash marks. And as Domi starts to sift towards the net, brings Ekholm with him. Skinner comes out to challenge, and then Max Domi, who had 4 assists in Washington on Wednesday, has a Gretzky-like assist on Holmberg's goal in this one to make it 3-0 Toronto. Number 5 on the season for Bonus Holmberg.
Just a minute. It was a tie. Domi, magical pass. Here the Oilers back into the lead. All right, never mind. Yeah, let's go with Gretzky.
Kevin McClellan or Dave Semenko might have been on.
All right, long shot stopped by Samsonov. The Leafs are able to get it ahead, and Domi gets it ahead and across the line for Holmberg, looking for Matthews. Couldn't get it to him. How is the chemistry with Matthews and Domi working?
Wow. Incredible, isn't it?
Isn't it? On the right wing side, down into the corner it goes. Liljegren poking it back. Knocked down was Warren Foegele, and there's going to be a penalty to Toronto.
And Connor Timmins is just livid. I mean, this is just a little touch, and I think it's the left glove in the lower back, not a cross check. Although the official's announcement was so angry, I'm going to change my mind now. I mean, that was authoritative, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
I'm sorry. But it was Warren Foegele that went down. Yeah, you know what? This is a cross check. You can argue if Foegele stays on his feet, if it's called or not.
3-0 Toronto, but the power play, the third of the game for Edmonton. Draisaitl is waved out. McDavid will move in.
This is a huge power play for the Oilers.
And the draw won cleanly as it comes back to Bouchard. Near side, Nugent Hopkins slid back to Bouchard. Far side for Nugent Hopkins or for Draisaitl, and it went off his stick, and the Leafs were able to airmail it out and down the ice. Minute 42 to go on the power play. Brought to center by Bouchard. Drop for McDavid with speed coming through the neutral zone and in to drop off now to Nugent Hopkins. Played back to the blue line. Bouchard back to Nugent Hopkins into the corner. McDavid drives the net, centered pass in front. Across comes Samsonov, and he makes a big save there off of Hyman at the side of the net, and we get some more shoving, and everybody's into it now. McCabe's helmet is off.
David may want to let go of Joel Edmondson from behind. And this all started when Edmondson and Draisaitl exchanged flashes at the end of it. Looks like each team is going to lose a player.
Edmondson is coming to the box.
As is Draisaitl. I don't know if I'd take this trade.
No, not the way Edmondson's playing, no.
Has been so good. All right, so Edmondson is roughing. Draisaitl slashing. But this is where if it ever went to court,
now
Mr. Bowen,
wait.
You would say, what came first, the slash or the rough?
The chicken or the egg?
Anyway, it may well be. This is not a prediction. This is not saying that the Leafs will do wonderful things in the postseason this year. But Joel Edmondson really does have the potential to be one of the most significant pickups at the trade deadline. It's easy for us to say, having watched virtually every game this team has played over the years. But he's got that great reach on the penalty kill.
Block shots.
Toughness.
Yep. Draw won by Edmonton. Back to the point. On to McDavid back to Bouchard, near side. Nugent Hopkins back to Bouchard, winding and shooting. That was knocked out of the air right in front of the net. Wow, a pretty good two-hander there by Benoit. And now another shot is blocked away nicely by the Leafs, and they're going to get a chance to clear. And they'll carry it out at center. Camp breaking down the right wing boards. Works into the corner. He's by himself as the rest of the Leafs have gone for a change. And good play by Camp. Back of the net to pin it there. Now gets interfered with Evan Bouchard. And will get exchanged as the Oilers have to wait at the blue line because they were offside. Now McDavid working in on the left wing. Dropping it back. Kane to the point to Bouchard. Bouchard off Kane's skate. Grabbed off by the Leafs, and now three of them to center. It's a 3-on-1 break. Liljegren closing in on goal, and his pass was partially blocked. Leafs will have to scamper back to make sure they don't get caught in an odd man rush the other way. Off a stick and into the Leaf zone it goes. Adam Henrique in against the boards. Played back to the blue line and kept alive on the near boards by McLeod. To the point, Bouchard on the right wing, back to Bouchard and a shot. That was stopped. The big rebound in front of the net. Knocked away by Samsonov. Puck is still free as the penalty is expired. Cleared to the line and out. Leafs break it out. 3-on-1 break. Back it goes now for in front of the net. A chance to score! What is Holmberg? It looked like it was going to be for naught. As the pass comes back and Holmberg is able to tap it over Skinner. It's 4-0 Toronto.
Adam Henrique makes a mistake at the Oiler blue line. It was offside, but instead of touching it and getting the whistle, he thought, okay, I've bobbled this. I've got to let this go till we get out. Instead, the Leafs chip it out, and they're off on an odd man rush. And the three-way passing play is completed when Holmberg chips it in from the right wing side. But this is Riley to McMahon across the top of the crease to Holmberg. And the Leafs, a huge kill and a huge goal to make it 4-0.
Played into the center ice area. Now here are the Oilers in with a sharp angle shot stopped by Samsonov. Comes around the boards and back to the blue line. Nurse unable to get a shot away. Down into the corner. Dewar got it freed up for the Leafs, and it's going to be flipped out into the center ice area. Second of the game, sixth of the season. McMahon and Riley the assists, and the Maple Leafs have opened up a 4-0 lead here in the second period. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The 2024 election on Sirius XM.
The fight for our democracy. That's been the work of my first term.
Thrilled to be back with thousands of proud American patriots.
Where every voice matters.
I'm as far left as you can get.
This president has not complied with his oath.
Left, right, center, decided, or undecided.
We have to use our voices. We have to stand up for what we believe.
The only place for every perspective and your voice about your vote on Sirius XM. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Andrew Burnett, head coach of the Nashville Predators. I think Roman Josi gets underrated nowadays.
I think maybe the consistency that he does it every year, you take it for granted a little bit. I mean, he's done everything in this game. His ability to raise his game is very unique. You know, I've been around some really good, great defensemen. He's right up there with them, and he does get over them.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stiller. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Leafs Radio Network.
Head-to-head matchups, McDavid and Matthews. The Leafs have won 11 of the 17 games. Austin Matthews has outscored McDavid 12-8. But points-wise, McDavid 26, Matthews 18. But the big number is there, 11 wins to 6.
Leafs did lose a little earlier this season in Edmonton. Remember they had a 2-0 lead in that game where Draisaitl scored in the second period. And the Oilers' third and fourth line guys were the ones that took over the game in the third.
Robertson lost the face-off. Oilers play it around back of the net, but the Leafs are onto it quickly. Coming out is Robertson. Shot hit the goalpost. Another shot. That goes off a stick or the goalpost and up into the screen. Out of play is the fourth line trying to chip in with one here.
I mean, really, with Holmberg and Nick Robertson on the fourth line, obviously because of the injuries and illnesses that the Leafs are battling with, this is not your prototypical fourth line, is it? Maybe Ryan Reeves would be the one you would think mostly.
Leafs win the draw. Dewar got it back to the point, but Edmondson's shot didn't make it through. And turning with it now is Corey Perry. Up on the left wing for Darnell Nurse. Nurse to center. Long shoot in down into the left wing corner. Edmondson is tripped up there and slid into the corner, and how that wasn't a penalty, I don't know. Played off the boards and down into Edmonton territory by Robertson, but he got a little bit too much on it, and it ends up being an icing.
I don't know if he was trying to bank this pass, but he ended up pulling up before the red line. All he's got to do is two more strides. Yeah.
Get there and get it in. Face off in the Leaf zone, and the big boys are over the boards for Edmonton. Connor Dewar taking the draw with Draisaitl. The puck along the boards. Hyman got it into the corner. What a season Zach Hyman is having. He closes in on the 50-goal mark. Back to the point it comes to Bouchard. Left wing side now for Ekholm. He turns at the half boards, works back to the blue line, dropping it back. Bouchard to Ekholm again, far side. Robertson trying to mirror him to the point. Bouchard had that deflect off a body in front of the goal. Leafs in a lot of heat here with their fourth line out against the big lads. Here are the Oilers with it again, dropping it off and into the corner. Edmondson forces his man wide. Then a shot knocked down and smothered by Samsonov. And a face-off coming in the Toronto zone and a much-needed change.
How'd the icing turn out? I mean, it was an unforced error. And for Nick Robertson, I mean, the work ethic has been there, and it's not as if he doesn't care. But those are the little things, Joe, that are going to keep you out of a lineup. I mean, it sounds trivial that it's only an icing call.
No.
But you're on the fourth line. You've got to stay out now on a long shift. And here comes Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl.
Face off to the right in the Leaf zone. Bouncing puck controlled by Gregor, and he'll play it down into Edmonton territory. Bank back out into neutral ice. Forces the Oilers back. Gregor got interfered with there by Kulak. And now in over the line comes Warren Foegele. Foegele with a shot, steered wide of the net by Samsonov's stick. It comes back to the point. Far side, Ceci to the left wing side, deflected into the corner. After it there is Foegele. Back of the net, played back towards the blue line, intercepted by Camp. Camp gets it ahead, and the Maple Leafs send it out into the center ice area. Played back to the Leaf blue line. Both teams changing. Jake McCabe got it ahead. Leafs scored 2 in the first. They've got 2 more here in the second with 6:17 to play and a 4-0 Toronto advantage. A long shot by Connor Timmins went wide of the net. Ceci getting it ahead and out at center ice. Bouchard, or at least Benoit, is there, and it is played by Timmins off a pass back into Edmonton territory. Timmins traps at the blue line. Tried to send it back in once, twice. Didn't get it in far enough as Brown blocked it with his stick. That is now a piece of history. And now the Oilers will send it down into the Toronto zone. Slowed up by Samsonov into the corner. Benoit against the boards, fighting for possession with Matthews. The puck comes free, back to the point. Kept in there by Deame and played around the boards to the near side. Nurse trying to steer it back of the goal. Gets it handed to him again and sends it back to the blue line. Janmark got it against the wall, into the corner. Cycled around back of the net, coming out in front of the goal. Good play made there by Connor Timmins to tie up the Oiler player going to the front of the net.
Leafs have really done a nice job, haven't they, in front of Ilya Samsonov. Deflecting pucks, clearing rebounds.
Being physical. Here's Perry in with a backhand try that was stopped by Samsonov. Bobby McMahon turns. He'll find Edmonton, who gets it ahead and misfired on a pass there for Nylander. Oilers back in their own zone. 4:45 to play second period. 4-0 Toronto. In across the line, and Edmonton gets a piece of his man, but the puck goes to the side of the goal and now deflects back of the net. Kane for Perry. Perry into the corner. McMahon can't get to it as it comes to Bouchard at the point of shot. Big rebound in front of the Leaf goal, taken to safety by Nylander. And now Nylander circles out of his own zone to get it to Liljegren. Rink-wide feed for Tavares. Back for Willie. Nylander closing in, a pass in front of the net. They score! Bobby McMahon! The Rocket has 2, and the Leafs own a 5-0 lead.
Well, it's as if the Leafs have watched a lot of the Oilers' game tape and said, forget stopping them. Let's do what they do. And this is, again, a great passing play off the rush that eventually finds Bobby McMahon open on the right wing side, and it was Willie Nylander that looked like he was going to shoot from the left wing circle, pulled up, threw it to McMahon, and he rifles it high over the left shoulder of Skinner, who came over on his feet, but as soon as he dropped, McMahon snapped it in, and Holmberg and McMahon are the scoring stars of this game so far.
Played down into the zone, and a hit there by McCabe. Caught Hyman coming across. A long shot is blocked as it'll come to the blue line. Leafs unable to get it out. Back into the corner for Kulak. Pass back to the point. Ceci with a drive. That was blocked there by Samsonov, and the Leafs are going to get it elevated to center ice. Tavares draws another assist on the goal, and the captain has been red hot. Here's McDavid down into the corner. The Leafs are able to punch it around back of the net, but Draisaitl centers, and that was knocked away. Draisaitl getting it again. Draisaitl down into the left wing corner with Camp chasing him. And he gets thundered into the corner then by McCabe. Oh boy. The Leafs have really, really brought the heavyweights into this fight tonight, haven't they?
I mean, it's been the lesser lights. I'm sure you had tickets to the Oilers and Leafs. On this night, you're looking going, boy, we're going to see some of the greatest offense in the world. And maybe you have, but it's been Bobby McMahon and Pontus Holmberg with 2 goals each.
But McCabe, Benoit, Edmondson have been doing the heavy lifting, and they have really been a physical presence. Nurse with a shot. That doesn't make it through. And the Leafs are going to elevate it through center ice, but a little bit too hard. And an icing call will come as a result.
Now, if you're wondering when is the last time the Edmonton Oilers have scored 5 straight goals in a period, a couple of nights ago against Buffalo, they trailed the Buffalo Sabres 3-2 after the second period and stormed back with 5 in the third. So this, I mean, it's obvious. I don't think Sheldon Keefe has to bring it to the attention of his players, but they're a team that can score a lot of goals in a little time.
Riley rattles it around the boards. Did it touch anybody? Well, the linesman says no. Icing call coming back with 2:36 to go in the second period. And the Maple Leafs have scored 5. McMahon has 2. Holmberg has 2. That guy Nylander has his 39th of the season.
I like this line. Kemp, Gregor, and Dewar.
Played out at center, and Gregor racing after a loose puck, trying to get around his man in on goal. and he was upended as he was taken to the inboards by Nurse. Could have been a penalty there, too. Left wing side for McLeod, broken up at the blue line by the Leafs. Oilers are going to shoot it in this time. Round on the far side, McMahon ties up his man to allow Benoit to the loose puck. It's back on the boards, fed back to the point by Fogle. Near side, back to the point once more, back in for Fogle. It comes back to the point. Bouchard, his shot that got through. But Timmins doing a nice job of blocking out there against Ryan McLeod, the Mississauga native, and allowing Samsonov to get a pretty good look at that wrister coming from the point. It has been a big second period for the Maple Leafs. 3 more to make it 5-0. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herwin. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Williamsburg Green is everything you want in a community. Enjoy fabulous trails, parks, playgrounds, sports areas, and more. Our beautiful all-brick homes include luxury features you've always dreamed of, even a fully finished lower level. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
And now it's time for our Subaru weather report. So, Harold, what's it looking like?
Jim, we can expect more thunderstorms as the evening approaches, and then overnight... Oh, hold on. Yeah, can I get 2 number 6s with a side of curly fries? Hold the onions, please. Yep.
Harold, are you in the drive-thru right now?
Jim, no one listens to this. Oh, thank you. Yep, great.
Weather reports don't matter when you drive a Subaru. Visit your local Subaru dealer today and book a test drive during the all-weather drive event.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Holy mackerel, what a move!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Holmberg from Domi and Matthews. Holmberg from McMahon and Riley. McMahon from Nylander and Tavares. And the Leafs with a 5-0 lead. And the draw controlled by the Maple Leafs. Liljegren punching it around back of the net, but the Oilers get it right through the goal crease, no one home. And now Nylander is able to slide the puck out, has it handed back to him. He gets across the line with Tavares. Nylander trying to make a pass, and it was blocked, but Tavares comes away with the puck. He is dragged down, still has it underneath him, got it freed up for Willie. Nylander back of the net, far corner, back towards the blue line. Onto the slot with a shot taken by Edmonton, and it was kicked away by Skinner. Oilers punch it out at center ice. Joel Edmondson got it ahead in over the line, and down the boards comes McMahon. McMahon driving the net with a shot, and that went off, I think, the shoulder of Skinner and up into the screen and out of play. It's an interesting little art thing. I think it was Lance Hornby and the Sun had it. The unofficial leader in goalposts and crossbars is Austin Matthews with 16 this year, which is just one less than the unofficial record set by Steven Stamkos in the 2010-11 season when he finished with 43 goals. I don't know who counts these, but there you have it. But we do know Austin Matthews has hit an awful lot of iron this year. Holmberg unable to poke it free for Matthews. Out at center ice and played in by the Oilers with less than a minute to go in the period. Brown got it up on the wing, and now Matthews is through center. Matthews hits the line. Left wing side, Nylander back. It goes to Pontus Holmberg, who tried to center, and it is cleared by the Oilers to center ice. Liljegren, stick handling in over the line. Got in on the right wing side for Holmberg. Tried to chip it through for Matthews. Matthews couldn't one-hand it out in front of the net. And it is McDavid sending it around the boards into the corner. Then McDavid got upended and knocked down there by a Leaf trying to get to the bench. That drew a little bit of laughter from the crowd. Now McDavid in on the left wing. Newmarket native fans on a pass and a shot. It's cleared around the boards, and there's the horn. That ends 40 minutes of dominant hockey, and Joel Edmondson and Darnell Nurse shoving with one another. That's brought a lot of people in that shouldn't be there, as a lot of Oilers are on the ice.
Joel Edmondson's the first one to get up. Noah Gregor is there as well. By the way, Joe, Edmonton Oilers down 5-0 now after 40 minutes of play. It is only the second time this season that the Oilers have trailed by 5 goals in a game. The last time, opening night against the Vancouver Canucks. It was an 8-1 Vancouver win.
Rubbing. Yes, it was. All right. Is that Nurse, did he say?
Well, judging by the crowd's reaction, we're going to have to say it was against Edmonton.
Yeah, Nurse. So that's, 2-minute minor and a 10-minute misconduct.
So the Leafs will start the third period on a power play. 5-0 down.
Sorry, Jimmy. 5-0 Toronto. We'll step aside for Ailish Forfire and Justin Cuthbert. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Sirius XM NFL Radio is broadcasting live from the 2024 NFL Annual League Meeting in Orlando, Florida. Coverage begins Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern as we break down the latest rules changes and sit down with owners, coaches, and executives as they continue to build their rosters for the 2024 season.
We got our hands full, but we should be a better team.
There's a story for every team, and it unfolds right here on Sirius XM NFL Radio Channel 88 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
The general manager of the Vegas Golden Knights, Kelly McCrimmon.
Vegas so quickly has become a place where players want to go.
Players appreciate that we're trying to win, and I think we've come to expect it. It's their livelihood and all of those things that go with it. So we try to do what we can to help that happen.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
Andrew Burnett is your Jack Adams winner. 70 points in 52 games. You project that over 82, Jake. That's an 111-point pace. So they've gone head-to-head with the big boys of the West all year. Andrew Burnett inherited a new GM in Barry Trotz and a sinking payroll. And he's got this team playing as well as any team in the NHL.
Points with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Andrew Burnett, head coach of the Nashville Predators. I think Roman Josi gets underrated nowadays.
I think maybe the consistency that he does it every year, you take it for granted a little bit. I mean, he's done everything in this game. His ability to raise his game is very unique. You know, I've been around some really good, great defensemen. He's right up there with them, and he does get over them.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morisuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the Sirius XM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the Sirius XM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter Miami game.
Messi up over
and get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Radio Network.
Chance they score! Pontus Holmberg! From the net, they score! Bobby McMahon!
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. 5-0 lead for the Maple Leafs after 40 minutes against the Oilers, and we said it was going to be a battle of great goal scorers. We forgot to mention that would be Bobby McMahon and Pontus Holmberg, but they've got two apiece, and William Nylander sneaking in there with the big two for the Maple Leafs. That was a crazy period.
Yeah, it was. If the Leafs were a stock, I think this would be the highest point they'd be trading at the entire season. And I say that this isn't like by a wide margin their best two periods of hockey. But this is the closest we've seen with the final product, right? This is the Edmondson coming in, and I guess Labushka not in the lineup tonight. But this is the rework, right? This is, I think, the best we've seen since the rework. And I think the best thing about it is that you can actually envision the future, right? You can envision this being a playoff game where it's a little bit more physical, where you're relying on a bit of a counterattack style with the Oilers pressing because they're down and the Maple Leafs just feasting once they commit too much forward. But I think the biggest thing is, like, they're picking on Leon Draisaitl. They're picking on the Oilers stars. They're making people on the other side of the ice frustrated. This is, for that reason, different than a regular season game where you can see some of the playoff tacks come through, and the Maple Leafs are using them instead of having them used against them. For that reason, I'm as encouraged as I've been at any point all year in this Leafs team when it comes to potential playoff success.
Yeah, Oilers facing a 5-goal deficit for the first time since their 8-1 season opening loss to the Canucks. We know they've gone through a couple iterations of who they are since that time opening up the season. But the Maple Leafs, you're right, like they're rolling. All of the lines have a role tonight. They're contributing. Obviously, we're getting goal scoring from other people that aren't Austin Matthews. Bobby McMahon has been on fire. Love to see that Pontus Holmberg's got a couple there, but great passing plays for both of those goals that I mentioned between Domi, Holmberg, and Matthews on that first one. Then the Leafs have a 3-on-1. Holmberg gets another opportunity. McMahon with a snipe. Like, this is a really well-rounded game for the Maple Leafs. Samsonov been playing strong, but I think Joel Edmondson has really started to endear himself. Like, he's the type of guy you don't want to play against, and he's starting to shine in this kind of mucky, gross, by-the-net areas where the Maple Leafs had never had an answer, right? And I've loved the way that they've kind of flipped it onto the Oilers, and they're the frustrated ones. They're fighting at the end of the period there. I don't know exactly what the final call was, but...
Darnell Nurse took a 10-minute misconduct because he initiated in a scrum with Edmondson. So not only is Edmondson's winning the one-on-one battle with Draisaitl, which has been a theme to this entire game, but then he just took out the Edmonton Oilers' best defenseman, or most used defenseman, in Darnell Nurse for the first half of the third period. This is the stuff, not to say that the Leafs were taking 10-minute misconducts, but this is not the stuff that they normally thrive in. Edmondson on multiple levels is effective in this game, and again, I'll take him on my team anytime because this is as close to playoffs as it's been lately, and you can see his value in this game.
So you mentioned it earlier, Nye's been benched. I don't love to see his minutes total now.
Yeah, I think he took about 4 or 5 shifts in the second period total.
He wasn't having a
4
great
shifts.
start.
You could see he made him a couple mistakes out there. We got a reaction from the Leafs coaches behind us while we were watching. But you mentioned opportunity with Holmberg. Well, the best opportunity he's gotten so far in this game is replacing Matthew Nyes on that first line. He's seen a ton of minutes with Domi and Matthews. His first goal was assisted by Domi and Matthews, and it looks like he's finding a way to insert himself more into this game. Honestly, I looked at this lineup today, and I saw Holmberg in between Robertson and Reeves, and you're like, okay, that's just like can you get us through a couple shifts here, Pontus Holmberg? Because Reeves does one thing, which is be physical and fight, and Robertson does one thing, which is, well, convert on opportunities he's going to get, not on a fourth line, generally with those two. So Pontus Holmberg's role has changed dramatically in this game to, hey, can you help us survive here for 4 minutes, to playing with Austin Matthews, scoring twice, and on a hat trick when we were all talking about Zach Hyman and and Austin Matthews' former winger potentially having a big night.
Well, remember how Bobby McMahon got his opportunity and ends up signing a contract with the Maple Leafs? He was going to be a healthy scratch. Somebody gets the flu. He comes in, he gets a hat trick, and sometimes it's just about seeing the moment and capitalize on it. And if Pontus Holmberg is able to do that, and maybe he has a really great game tonight and tomorrow on a back-to-back, he gets an opportunity to start up on a top or second top line or whatever it is, right? I mean, I think Nyes has a great potential in this league. I just think he might have been thrust into things a bit too early. He was top line 5 minutes out of university, and he's a big body, and we know that, but you can still make mistakes. And not that Holmberg's a perfect player either, but that's how you learn, and not being given everything without having to reap the consequences of maybe not having a perfect game. We got Nyes here with the lowest time on ice on the team. Robertson a close second. He's got 7:08 ice time.
Are we including Reeves in that? Reeves is more than 7:08?
This is from Armin, so you can yell at him if it's wrong. McMahon. Yeah, okay.
Reeves just under 5 minutes, so we're not including Ryan Reeves.
McMahon has 9:37 for a bit of a comparison there. So, yeah, it's noticeable that Nyes wasn't doing much, and Sheldon keeps making them sit around.
Yeah, I mean, we probably got to go to break here for quickly, but, everyone was talking about, before the deadline, how the Leafs can improve their forwards. Everyone was talking about, hey, middle six center, right? Can you get someone who can replace Max Domi? I kind of always thought replacing Matthew Nyes might have been the call, where you get someone who can play and just lessen the load a little bit on Matthew Nyes. And again, you got Pontus Holmberg to lean on, but as much as it's a nice story tonight, is that what you want in the playoffs? Top line Holmberg?
We're also
I'm not
missing
really sure.
Mitch Marner, so that'll help. That'll help a little bit when he comes back. We will take that quick break. Leafs up 5-0 after 40 minutes against Edmonton Oilers here at Scotiabank Arena. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The NHL's premier esports event is back with the EA Sports NHL 24 World Championship. It's a whole new season of tournaments, events, and prizes. Catch the action as the best gamers in the world compete to win the EA Sports NHL 24 World Championship. Tune in to twitch.tv/NHL to catch the exciting end of the NHL esports season.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green and Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick homes are built with upgraded features and elevated finishes. Chef-inspired kitchens, spa-like en-suites, and a fully finished lower level. Even better, Williamsburg Green has parks, playgrounds, and trails to explore. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important news bulletin. Desjardins Insurance was spotted downtown helping everyone in its path. Unpredictable weather, fallen tree branches, wayward baseballs flying towards second-story windows. Desjardins Insurance is helping Canadians through it all. Is there nothing this large and friendly ally won't do for neighbors in need? Never before have we seen insurance with a heart so big it shows.
Desjardins Insurance, home and auto. Learn more at desjardins.com/heart.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2 minute truck, 2 minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 minute truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
And now it's time for our Subaru weather report. So, Harold, what's it looking like?
Jim, it's a lovely spring day here on the beach. I came here for some solo time, like I do, but I got hungry instantly, so I went to Bob's Boardwalk Bistro when Bob says, sorry, cash only. Luckily for me, I always have a $5 bill stashed in my sandals, so I give it to Bob, and he says, we don't accept foot money here. That's how he talks. But now
Weather
I'm
reports
starving,
don't matter when you drive a Subaru. Visit your local Subaru dealer today and book a test drive during the all-weather drive event.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Nylander closing in a goal! Charge!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Leafs lead 5-0 after 40 minutes against the Edmonton Oilers. Crazy but true. McDavid has no shots tonight. He had no shots against Buffalo in an 8-3 win in their last game out. Uncharacteristic for one of the world's best hockey players.
Maybe. He does seem like quite clearly the best player on the ice for Edmonton.
You got to put the puck on the net for it to go in, Justin.
We could say one thing nice about the Oilers. If they need a zone entry, just give the puck to McDavid and it's automatic.
Immaculate
it is
job.
Amazing how he enters the zone.
All right, let's take a quick look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary. Bet365 must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly.
All right, let's run through these. Islanders doubled up the Jets 6-3 earlier. Flyers 3-2 over the Bruins. 5-4 Blues beat the Wild in overtime, and the Predators stay hot 1-0 over the Red Wings. Currently ongoing, Senators 4-2 over the Devils in the third period, and end of one, Rangers trailing the Panthers 1-0 in a big game. Still to come, Flames Canucks, Blackhawks Sharks, Lightning Kings, Blue Jackets, VGK.
All right, Joe Bone and Jim Ralph with the call. The third period next. Leafs lead 5-0 after 40 minutes. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Experience the excitement of the men's and women's NCAA basketball tournaments.
Got it!
On Sirius XM and the all-new Sirius XM app.
A 16 has beaten a 1!
Search March Madness to hear Westwood One's coverage of all the games.
Holy smokes, what a play!
Plus pre- and post-game shows and get analysis on basketball and beyond with Coach K. Get radio channels for your games at SiriusXM.com/sports or search March Madness on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Points with Boomer Gordon.
Andrew Burnett is your Jack Adams winner. 70 points in 52 games. You project that over 82, Jake. That's an 111-point pace. So they've gone head-to-head with the big boys of the West all year. Andrew Burnett inherited a new GM in Barry Trotz and a sinking payroll. And he's got this team playing as well as any team in the NHL.
Points with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter-Miami game.
Messi, up, overhand!
And get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Toronto, they don't have a face card. Like, they don't have an ace. Morgan's a jack. They have so many non-face cards that these guys are going to have to bullpen by committee. Because the real truth is this. They got a good forward group. But if you don't defend against Boston and Florida, you're not seeing Boston or Florida in round 2. That's the exam, and the test will be on this defense.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
And the Leafs Radio Network.
5-0 Toronto, and a goaltending change for Edmonton as Calvin Pickard takes over for Stuart Skinner after 40 minutes of play. And the penalty goes to Zach Hyman. Now, did he get the...
I've got Nurse down.
No, Nurse got roughing and misconduct, and Hyman is serving the roughing penalty. All right.
All right, there we go.
Well, why would they... Well, I suppose. Yeah.
And Nurse has to stay in for the full 12 minutes. Looking at the stats after 40 minutes, Edmonton has actually had more zone time than the Leafs offensive zone time by almost 5 minutes. Hard to believe, although we have seen the Leafs score off the rush.
Leafs back in their own zone as they pick the puck up. Nylander starts out. Willie Nylander to center. Cross the line to Tavares. Drop pass comes to Liljegren. Works down the left wing boards. Back of the net for Nylander to Domi. Domi back to Tavares. Shot coming. That deflects into the corner. Domi centers for Matthews. Shot stopped. Tavares' shot. That was blocked. Tavares fighting for possession, but the Oilers break it out. Down the right side, pass by Foegele to the left wing side, and a shot stopped by Samsonov. And the Leafs are going to play it ahead for Nylander. Now to Matthews, but he couldn't get in over the line. Leafs don't need to get cute here. They just need to be workmanlike. And killing, scoring here is not the most important part of the game, but being responsible is. Nylander's pass blocked. Oilers get it back at their own blue line. Ceci will drop it even further, and the Oilers killing off a large portion of this power play as they send it down into the Toronto end. 34 seconds left in it when Riley steps out from behind his goal. Left wing for Nyes, dropped there for McMahon. Look out! Stepping up there, trying to get a hit in was Janmark. Is that Riley who was coming through the middle? Brought back now by the Oilers. Brown with a pass into the slot area. That stopped. Samsonov was about 20 feet out of the goal. Fresh ice and all. He got sliding and never stopped. Now here's Connor Timmins. Up on the left wing for David Camp. Camp circles back in his own zone. Left wing side for Benoit, and he's going to send it into the far corner. Hustling in after it is Noah Gregor. Tied up against the boards is Dewar. Dewar has it in his skates. Got it freed up for Camp. Camp cycles it back behind the net, but out of the reach of Gregor. And the Oilers would get it out at center ice, but turn it over there. Noah Gregor back in again, driving the net hard to the goal. That was stopped, and it is covered up by Calvin Pickard. But Noah Gregor just put his shoulder down and said, I'm taking this to the hoop.
And we discussed this during the intermission, didn't we? That if there's one guy you would love to see get going, I mean, you love what Buddy McMahon has done and Pontus Holmberg, but Noah Gregor, who's been in and out of the lineup of late. But overall, 29 games without a goal. 4 assists during that stretch. Fourth line minutes and penalty kill time. So it's not that the expectations are huge. But what we saw from him in the first couple of months of the regular season made you think this guy is perfect for the fourth line and penalty kill.
Nylander turns the puck back into the far corner. Chipped it back at the net for McMahon. Back for Nylander. He got spun around, and the Oilers are able to get it out at center. McDavid in across the line for Draisaitl, shooting, and he missed the net. Nylander on the far side just chipping it out, missing a hit there from Deame. It's back down into Oiler territory. Cody Ceci, Ottawa native, gets it up on the left wing for McDavid. His pass for Draisaitl was out of his reach. Played back of the net for Connor Timmins. Timmins gets it on the glass.
Or does he?
Or does he? Maybe not. It's up into the crowd. At any rate, Timmins is on his way to the penalty box.
Toronto penalty number 25. 2 minutes delay game. Shoot the puck over the glass.
All right, it's another penalty kill opportunity. Would have been nice maybe to get the 6th one. But the Oilers, as we said, 5 third-period goals against Buffalo a couple of nights ago.
3:21, the time of the infraction to Connor Timmins. And the draw is scrummed in the far corner. Camp took it to the boards. It comes around the wall to Bouchard at the point. Bouchard on the left wing side looking for Hyman in front of the net. That pass was blocked nicely. A wrap around attempt stolen. Leafs can't get it out though. Bouchard keeping it in. Into the corner on the far side. Draisaitl just did get it back to the blue line and kept in there. Then stolen by the Leafs, and it will be backhanded out at center ice by David Kampf. Back come the Oilers across the line. Draisaitl working to the left wing side. Got around Pontus Holmberg. Swept it back to the point to Bouchard. Near side McDavid into the slot. Near side for Draisaitl. Back across into the slot area, and a shot is gloved by Samsonov. Off the stick of Evan Bouchard.
Well, earlier, Elias Samsonov, just seconds before that, lost his footing going from his right to his left to Leon Draisaitl, and Draisaitl usually one times that, and for whatever reason, stopped it and threw it back out to the middle, and Samsonov was able to recover and throw the glove up to stop it. But I think if Draisaitl shoots there, Joe, you got Elias Samsonov reeling a little bit.
24 shots apiece. Face off in the Toronto zone to the right. 1:11 left in the power play. Draw one by Nylander. Bouchard able to take it around into the near corner, and that draws a crowd, but it comes back to the point to Draisaitl. Draisaitl to the right wing side, a shot. That was stopped by Samsonov, and the puck is into the far corner. Another good shot by Evan Bouchard. Bouchard with 67 points. He is hit. Sammy, Sammy is the crowd chanting. Losing his stick is Liljegren. Back to the point for Nugent Hopkins. Near side, Draisaitl to the far side. Unable to get a shot away. It's blocked. Poked into the corner now and back to the blue line. Leafs with one man without a stick. To the left wing side it comes. Here's McDavid trying to center it in front. They score! Liljegren's stick broke, and Zach Hyman is going to get credit for the goal. His 49th of the season.
Leafs had actually been pretty impressive in the penalty kill, but it essentially comes down to a 5-on-3 as Hyman was able to get in behind Simon Benoit to the top of the crease. And Connor McDavid finds Hyman, and with 15:01 to go, the Oilers are on the board, 5-1 Toronto.
So,
Oilers actually out shooting the Leafs now, 26-24.
Leafs control the face-off. Domi tipping it down into the offensive zone. Got it back again for Matthews. He couldn't make a play. Oilers in across the line, working to the left wing side, stopping it up in a centering pass. That was blocked. Domi trying to wrap it out as it comes to the near wing. Cleared back in along the boards. Unable to trap it there was Evander Kane. The Leafs get it ahead to Domi. Domi on the left wing for Matthews shooting. And it's swallowed up there by Calvin Pickard.
Boy, Max Domi has really found a different level playing with Austin Matthews, hasn't he? 4 assists against the Washington Capitals on Wednesday night. Domi with an assist in this game tonight. It was a spectacular assist on a goal that made it 3-0. Pontus Holmberg scored for Toronto.
And it's interesting because he looked lost on the wing
earlier,
to start.
Yeah.
Moved to center and really found his game. And now been put back on the wing.
And is there a case of Marner, Domi, and Matthews?
I wouldn't doubt it. Played to the side of the Leaf goal, grabbed off there and launched high to center ice. Racing after it there and being interfered with.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. Into the Leaf zone it comes. Centering pass intercepted by Domi. How is that not a penalty? Pontus Holmberg got lifted right off his feet. Now Brown up on the right side for Sam Carrick. Markham native couldn't get it in front of the net. Brown centers. Oilers with it, and a shot blocked there nicely by David Kampf and pushed out at center ice for Domi. Domi's just going to flip it in. He needs to get to the bench. Out of the net, Pickard to play it around on the boards. Gobbled up there by Joel Edmondson. Sent back in along the wall. Edmondson couldn't come up with it.
Penalty coming up.
I'm going to go to break. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hear the Masters exclusively on SiriusXM. Hi, this is Mike Tirico, and there's nothing like the Masters.
Rory McIlroy, he's thinking Grand Slam.
The beauty of the azaleas, the passion of the patrons, and the best golfers in the world vying for a green jacket.
It turned right into the cup for John Rahm.
It all makes for one of the most iconic weekends in sports. Join me for live coverage of the Masters beginning Thursday, April 11th on Masters Radio, Channel 92, and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Point with Boomer Gordon.
Andrew Burnett is your Jack Adams winner. 70 points in 52 games. You project that over 82, Jake. That's an 111-point pace. So they've gone head-to-head with the big boys of the West all year. Andrew Burnett inherited a new GM in Barry Trotz and a sinking payroll. And he's got this team playing as well as any team in the NHL.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on SiriusXM FC.
Stupendously magnificent.
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter Miami game.
Messi, up, overhand.
And get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Leafs Radio Network.
Zach Hyman's 49th goal of the season. That's the 19th goal he has scored after the All-Star break. Austin Matthews is next. He has 17.
So when we got power plays, this will be 5-3 Edmonton.
Are you scoring at home? Oh, no, you're right here.
That's why I came here.
Yeah. Played around back of the net for Joel Edmondson. He has lots of time to wait and then sends it high off the glove of the Oiler defenseman Bouchard down into the Edmonton zone. Bouchard, who picked up his 68th point on the power play just previous. Draisaitl to the left wing side. Back it comes. Bouchard sends it off on the left wing. Hyman in front of the net, but the quick stick of Bobby McMahon deflects that pass down into Edmonton territory. Bouchard starts back up. He's going to drop it back. Here's McDavid with speed hitting the Toronto blue line. Going wide against McCabe. It comes back to the point, near side now for Draisaitl, top of the circle, left for McDavid. McDavid turns, plays it back to the point to Bouchard. Bouchard on the left wing side it comes back to him, and now to McDavid, to Bouchard, a shot deflects wide of the net. Puck in the far corner for Hyman. Played up on the wing, and now the Leafs are going to poke it out at center ice and get 3 changes done. Here's McDavid in across the line. Dropping for Draisaitl into the corner. Back to the point to Evan Bouchard. Bouchard back to Draisaitl. Near half boards. Off a skate. Stolen by Camp, who gets it ahead for McMahon with one man back. McMahon trying to drive the net. He does! And he one-handed it at the goal, and it was stopped by Calvin Pickard. Bobby McMahon looking for the hat trick. Back come the Oilers. 17 seconds in the penalty. Back to the blue line it comes. Near side for Cody Ceci. Down into the corner once more. Looking back to the point for Kulak. Here's McDavid to the left wing side. A pass in front. They score. Corey Perry off to the side. So after the Leafs do not get the power play on an obvious interference call, the tripping call then to Dewar, and the Oilers have scored twice with the man advantage to make it 5-2.
And don't think for a second those are insignificant moments in a game. And we mentioned coming into the third period, Edmonton scored 5 in the third against Buffalo in their last game to defeat the Sabres. And here, and again though, Joe, it was Simon Benoit let Corey Perry get in behind him. On the other goal, it was Zach Hyman. But now all of a sudden, the Oilers get the next one.
they almost did there as Samsonov had to make a save. Puck comes back to the point. Ceci with a drive. That's wide of the net. Leafs have got to try and stop the bleeding here and get some offense going. And here's Matthews. 3-on-2 rush in over the line to Domi. Domi closes left wing side. A shot! Oh, and Nyes may have grazed the goal post on that. Pickard had to launch himself across to the near side. Domi down the left wing boards. Unable to get to it. And the Oilers are going to play it out at center ice. Played in over the line by Evander Kane. Corey Perry's a big favorite here. Left wing side, Tavares. Can't get in over the line cleanly. Then had it knocked away and goes into the corner after Bouchard. It'll be played around on the left wing side for Matthias Ekholm. Back for Bouchard. Can't get in over the line cleanly. Oilers play to an open wing. McCabe gets there on the far side and drills his man. The puck back of the net for Nylander. Nylander steals it back, and the Maple Leafs trying to get it out. Don't. Tavares unable to clear, but the Leafs get a chance on the far side, and now it's launched on the backhand out at center ice by McCabe. Stolen by Tavares. Near side pass for Nylander was deflected away in the offensive zone. Brought back now by Dewar. Played into the left wing corner, scooped away by goaltender Pickard into the near corner. And now here are the Oilers back in their own zone organizing. Half the period in the books, but it's the Oilers who have scored twice. A shot taken then by McDavid went wide. Into the corner for David Camp. Camp trying to muscle his way out. Got it ahead for Dewar. Dewar back along the boards, played out at center ice. Ahead for Camp, can't get in cleanly. Hyman comes back the other way. Hyman with a little stutter step to take it around back of the net. Hyman still with it on his backhand. Into the slot area, dished off on the near corner boards. It comes back. Tripped up there was McDavid. Mercifully no call. And the puck is into the corner with Hyman chasing after it. Hyman against the boards. Can't make a play, but it comes back to the blue line. Deame with a shot. Blockered away nicely there by the Leafs. Goaltender Samsonov, and the Leafs will get it out at center. Ooh. Another good hit there, this time by Dewar. Morgan Riley. Off Pontus Holmberg, stick into Oiler territory. Played ahead by Edmonton, and wheeling away on the left wing is Ryan McLeod. Got it in over the line, and a drop pass didn't work. Leafs need to get it out, and they do.
Feels like a one-goal game suddenly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's 5-2 Toronto. Draisaitl back in his own end. Starting out. You know the firepower is there, and an icing call here against Edmonton.
8:12 to go here in the third period. So the Oilers got what they needed. A couple of power play opportunities and a couple of power play goals. There's a face-off down to the right of Kelvin Pickard, who made a pretty good stop. I think he got a piece of that Matthew Nyes opportunity. But he also stopped a couple of opportunities coming off the wing. Noah Gregor and Bobby McMahon both driving to the net from the right wing, and Pickard was able to stop both of those in tight.
The Leafs penalty kill over the last 5 games had given up 5 goals on 15 times short. They are giving up 2 and 5 times short here tonight. That's the one area, too, that you really miss Mitch Marner. Penalty killing forward.
Well, specialty teams overall, right?
Yep. Fogle backhands it down into the Toronto zone. Played by Samsonov up on the left wing. And Robertson gives the puck away at the blue line, but then was able to get it out at center ice. Reeves sends it deep into Edmonton territory. Played out down the ice by Edmonton, and an icing call will come here. Janmark arguing the case, but to no avail. And Nurse is out of the penalty box after serving his misconduct.
I think the thing with Nick Robertson is when you know that you've got a certain skill set, which is you're a goal scorer. You've been a goal scorer everywhere you've been. And even though you're on the fourth line, you start to think in spectacular terms that I've got to do something extraordinary offensively to be able to find my way into the lineup, and instead you start turning pucks over, and instead of making simple plays, you get yourself in a little bit of trouble.
Nyes gets the face-off back, but they rule it wasn't done correctly. They'll do it over again. Draisaitl and Matthews facing off in the circle in the Edmonton zone. 7:48 to go, third period. Draw one by Toronto. Left wing side, Domi sends it to the net. That deflected off Matthews. And Pickard was able to have it hit him in the chest and then able to cover up on it. Corey Perry's 10th from Kane and McDavid. The last scoring play that makes it 5-2. The Leafs with the lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck, .ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
You know that's game on.
On Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Face-off in the Edmonton zone. Third period brought to you by Desjardins Insurance, helping Canadians through it all. Desjardins Insurance, insurance with a heart so big it shows. Visit Desjardins.com/heart today. Face-off in the Edmonton zone to the right of Calvin Pickard. And the Oilers win the draw and sweep it around the boards to the far side, but pinching there and keeping the puck in was Domi. Domi trying to make a pass, looking for Matthews coming down the slot, but it's intercepted, and Brown comes back the other way. Connor Brown, who couldn't score a goal all year long. And now what? Now we've got Matthias Janmark throwing punches at Domi. Domi with an uppercut. Janmark, Domi caught him right in the button. He caught him again on the button. Janmark in a little difficulty, and down he goes.
3 rights in a row and a couple of extra for fun. Well, we all idolize our fathers, right?
Edmonton's penalty number 13. 5 minutes each for fighting.
And Ty Domi is in attendance. They just flashed him up on the screen. The only thing is, you don't want Max at this time of the year with a broken hand, or I guess on the other side of it, Janmark doesn't want a broken jaw or a broken nose.
Listen to this crowd.
Face-off will stay inside the Leaf zone to the left of Ilya Samsonov.
I don't know what started it.
It was but Janmark was certainly the aggressor.
Turned out to be a pretty good receiver, too. Point shot deflects wide of the Leaf goal. Far side, Nylander after it. Couldn't get it away from Ekholm. Oilers at the blue line are able to keep it in at the point of drive, and a big pad save made by Samsonov. Down into the corner again for McDavid. Back to the blue line, Bouchard. Left wing side, and a shot deflects high off the glass, and the Leafs with skating room out at center. McMahon getting it to the red line and getting it deep into Oiler territory. Now Nylander, or at least Tavares, almost stole the puck. Bouchard up ahead for McDavid with speed in across the line, dropping a shot, and that is caught by Samsonov. Boy, yeah, we got the Molson 3 stars to pick at the end of the game, and I don't relish Georgia.
Right now I'm in deep discussions with Andrew Holland.
When do we have him involved?
Oh, we always have him involved.
Really?
Him or Armin, yes.
Oh, yeah. Does he actually watch the game?
Me or him? Is Samsonov getting the mask prepared? Yeah, for Samsonov to make the save and then hold on to it. It's almost like he pinched the puck between his jaw and his left shoulder. 6:43 to go, and the Leafs holding on to a lead that has gone from 5-3. 5-0 lead into the third, but 2 power play goals for the Oilers at 5-2.
Draisaitl with Fogle. And waved out now is David Camp. So Connor Dewar will take the face-off in the Leaf zone. Patiently waiting for the puck to be dropped, and it comes back up on the near boards. To the line, Cody Ceci to the left wing side. Bouchard, a shot that was stopped by Samsonov. The rebound is knocked out in front of the net, and the Leafs trying to poke it up on the boards and chop it out, and they do. And now they have a 2-on-1. Dewar in over the line, going to the front of the goal, looking for a pass. Was Gregor, but it never reached him. Back come the Oilers in over the line into the slot for Ceci. A shot from a one-timer taken by Fogle was stopped. Now Samsonov is without a mask, looking more and more like John Bauer.
Yeah, but if you've seen enough John Bauer highlights, you almost wonder if this is maybe moments ago it wasn't repaired properly, because Samsonov, this is one of those where he must have felt it loose and then just shook his head.
His head shook it off, yeah. Well, he was thinking enough that I'll wait till they get down into our end before I get rid of it.
And it looks like Samsonov's getting a new one. Can you imagine having a spare mask?
Can't afford that. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
well, actually,
man.
I do have one. Mr. Harrison was making me a mask about 30 years ago, and I never received it. Paid up front for it, too, now that I recall.
End of the week.
Yeah, end of the week. Draw one by the Oilers. Down the boards, it is tied up there by Nyes. That's drawn a crowd as it goes back into the corner. Poked back by Perry to the near side, and the Leafs are going to get it elevated and down into Oiler territory, and icing is going to be called. 5 minutes and 58 seconds left to play in the third period. It is the Leafs 5, the Oilers 2.
Well, if the score stays at 2 for the Oilers, you're going to have Ilya Samsonov in for the 3 stars. He has just looked sharp right off the get-go, hasn't he?
Draw one by the Oilers. A shot deflects wide of the Leaf goal. Side of the goal is corralled by Edmonton. Back to the point for DMA. Over on the left wing side, Cody Ceci, a shot. That's back of the net. And Joel Edmondson is there, and he's going to get it elevated into the center ice area and down into the Oilers zone. And hustling in there after it was Pontus Holmberg. The puck comes back along the boards and pushed out at center ice. Matthews lost the handle on it. Brought back in now by Nurse. Nurse knocked into the corner. Comes out of the corner with a centering pass. Oh, and Pontus Holmberg did a great job of getting his stick in the way there. The puck out at center ice. Brought back in, but it's the Leafs who played it in there. Here's Evander Kane wrapping it in front of the net, and the shot was deflected wide of the goal. Oilers pressing again. Back to the point to Bouchard. Shot blocked there by Nyes. Kept alive by Edmonton. Bouchard into the corner. Riley intercepts, and he pounds it off the glass and gets it down the ice. And this will just go wide of the goal crease, and icing is called against Toronto.
By the way, with Pontus Holmberg's 2 goals, first multi-goal game of his career. He's had multi-point games. I think his most recent one was in Vegas. And a big Leaf win there. Bobby McMahon, we know all about him when he went on that run after the Leafs had some players sick, and it looks like Calvin Pickard, with 4:54 to go, is heading to the Oiler bench.
So the Oilers will go with 6 attackers. Armin got you all that information?
Which part of it? Some of it I just make up on the spot.
Oh, good. Okay. Draw one by the Oilers. It'll go back to the blue line. 6 attackers for Edmonton. At the point now is Ekholm to Bouchard. Left wing side and a pass down low. Centering pass was knocked away, and the Leafs are trying to get it out, and they'll do just that. And now Pontus Holmberg trying to get free but can't. Nyes against the boards. Trying to just get it into the zone if they can, and they do, but not anywhere near the empty net. Matthews to the bench. Changes for Toronto. And across the line, a hip check thrown there by Benoit. Knocked it back to the blue line. Draisaitl to the point, and a shot blasted wide. McDavid to the blue line. Kept alive to Draisaitl on the near wing. Draisaitl holds. 6-on-5 and a shot blocked. The Leafs trying to play it out. That was knocked into the corner, and Edmonton couldn't get it. To the blue line, Ekholm. Bouchard and Ekholm exchanging disc. Now back to Draisaitl. Down low, a centering pass looking for Hyman on the far boards. Didn't work. Leafs can't backhand it out, though. Kept alive and rattled around the boards. It's going to come to the near side. Bouchard keeping it going. Bouchard to McDavid. McDavid to the far side. A shot. They score! Draisaitl on the left wing with 3:39 to go. Don't go away.
To me, this is where you start to worry, Joe. Carolina scored 2 with their goalie on the bench a week ago to complete their comeback, and Ilya Samsonov is hurt and down, and the trainers are on the ice. Not sure what happened, whether this is pulling the muscle, going from one side to the other, but he seems like he's in a lot of trouble.
Well, he's on his face. He's not.
By the way, the backup goaltender tonight is Martin Jones. And we're trying to look again from the replay from in behind the net. Nothing yet, and I mean, this must be muscular, as he kind of went from his left to his right, and like the shot came back. Yeah.
Yep.
And does this one slide through him? So he's kind of falling forward. Seemed to get over in time, but does the face plant? The crowd responds to Samsonov getting up, but you doubt that he's going to be staying in this game, and he will, in fact, head toward the Leaf dressing room.
36th of the year for Draisaitl.
How would you like to be Martin Jones, to be put into this scenario? If I'm not mistaken, was it in Vancouver the last game that Martin Jones played?
He has 11 wins. In fact, for the first time in history, the Leafs have 3 goaltenders with 10-plus wins. Wall has 10, Jones 11, and Samsonov 18. And for the love of me, I do not understand why a goaltender cannot get some kind of a warm-up shot.
Martin Jones, by the way, his last game was the win in Vegas. So it's been a while since he's played. It's been a while since I've seen both teams have to use both goaltenders.
McDavid and Bouchard assist on the Draisaitl tally, his 36th. And this one's going to go down to the final 3 minutes and 39 seconds with some excitement. The draw won by Toronto. Goaltender Pickard still in the goal. Leafs have it back in their own end. Joel Edmondson got it ahead, but the pass was intercepted by Bouchard. Goaltender started out, now back into his own end. The Oilers trying to get it to the line and in, and there goes, no, Pickard still hasn't gone to the bench. Now he is. 6 attackers on as the puck comes, and a backhand pass comes out, and it is McMahon getting it to center. Played right back in, though, by Edmonton. Here's McDavid into the slot area and back to the point. Ekholm, another shot. That's stopped. There's a rebound in front of the goal, and it's knocked into the corner. Under 3 minutes to play. Played along the boards. Camp couldn't get it out as he was struck in the face with the puck, but he's all right to stay on. Kept alive now by Edmonton. Bouchard, near side, Draisaitl, holding. Top of the circle, right wing side, down into the corner. McDavid curls out. McDavid holds. McDavid trying to work to the far side. Got away from one man. Comes back to Draisaitl and a shot that went wide of the goal. Far side, McDavid again. Back to the point for Ekholm. Back to McDavid and a shot deflected. Shot off the post by Hyman. 2:16. Edmonton all over the Leafs here. Oilers back to the point. Bouchard. Another shot deflected. That was stopped by Jones on the short side. He's tasted the puck a bit. Leafs get the puck free. Get it out at center ice. Backhanded it down into the Oilers zone, but nowhere near the net. 1:56 to go. Leafs hanging on to a 2-goal lead. Pass intercepted. Matthews down the boards. Can't get around Bouchard. Neither could Holmberg on the far side. Another loose puck comes back to the point. Liljegren with a shot. That's blocked. Riley will chip it ahead. Nylander to center. Tried to shoot it at the net. It was blocked. Nurse back behind the net with a minute and a half. Nurse up ahead on the right wing. Perry got in over the line on a close play on an offside. Down around back of the net. Kane back to the point. Shot coming. It's blocked. Ceci into the corner. Another centering pass stopped by Jones. Back to the point once more. Nurse near side. Ceci shooting. That was blocked by Matthews. Back of the net. Riley. Too well covered against the boards by Perry. Back to the point. It comes with less than a minute. Nurse. Shot deflects in front of the goal. Another shot. Pad save Jones. Shot out and down the ice. It's going to go wide. Icing call with 45.9 seconds left.
Tired group on the ice. It's eventually Austin Matthews will control it to the left of the Leaf goal and launch it. And the other side of this, you know that probably Chris Knoblauch is going to take a timeout to get the big boys a rest.
Well, they...
No?
No. The Oiler bench was slamming their sticks in response to Janmark getting back after the fighting major was served. Matthews unable to win the draw. Kept alive by the Oilers. Back into the corner. It goes around back of the net into the near corner. Holmberg got there, but it comes back to the point. Bouchard to the left wing side. Closing in with a pass block. Holmberg just needs to get it out, and he does get it out at center. 25 seconds left in the third period. Long shoot in his glove by Jones. Left for Morgan Riley. Got it ahead, and a deflection by Holmberg doesn't clear. Leafs get it again and score! Austin Matthews into the empty net.
Breathe. Little too close for comfort. Oilers strike on the power play to get close. Another one with the goalie on the bench to make it 5-3. And finally, Austin Matthews settles down a bouncing puck inside the Leaf line and launches it into the empty net. And I believe that's Matthews' first empty netter this season.
I was going to say, yes.
Armin's all over this one. We remember his 40th in his rookie year was into the empty net.
That's number 58 on the season for the Leaf superstar. And this game is in the books. empty net goal of his career, first of this season. First of 58. And you think about Alex Ovechkin when he had his big seasons. He usually had at least 5 or 6 of those.
Yeah, Nikita Kucherov is usually up there with the empty netters. But time now for the Molson 3 Stars.
No, would you just wait?
Brought to you by...
Time now for the Molson 3 Stars. Brought to you by
Molson's. What beer's all about. Remember that?
No, it's not on there yet.
No, but that used to be the old saying, what beer's I like that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to go start with star number 3, and we'll start with Timothy Liljegren. Joel Edmondson, I'd love to have him there, but Liljegren, I thought, was sharp in the power play, set up Willie Nylander for the power play goal in the opening period. Bobby McMahon, a 2-goal night, is star number 2. And let's go Pontus Holmberg's first multi-goal game of his career. He gets a couple and is star number 1, where the Leafs, and not a lot of stars among the stars that were in the lineups for both sides. It was the lesser lights that really became the big story from a Leaf standpoint.
Can we at least give Joel Edmondson a...
Well, we gave him, I said I want to have him in there, but we'll throw in Liljegren. He's had his struggles over the last couple of months, and but his play, even in the last 3 or 4 games, has been noticeably outstanding.
So the Maple Leafs win it by a score of 6-3. They travel immediately to Carolina. We will have that action for you tomorrow night. It begins at 6 o'clock, and we hope that you will join us at that time. Leafs win it 6-3. Postgame show coming your way. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
A new Kenny Chesney album is an event.
Just say we did.
And we have the venue.
It's really wonderful. You helped us pay for this.
Captured at SiriusXM Nashville, exclusively for subscribers.
Kenny Chesney, Born.
The Town Hall.
Those 15 songs changed so much in the last month before I had to turn it in.
Co-starring music from Kenny's new album. Airing all weekend.
On the highway and Kenny's No Shoes Radio.
In the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Get closer to everything that moves you, wherever you are.
Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91. And on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Andrew Burnett, head coach of the Nashville Predators. I think Roman Josi gets underrated nowadays.
I think maybe the consistency that he does it every year, you take it for granted a little bit. I mean, he's done everything in this game. His ability to raise his game is very unique. I've been around some really good, great defensemen. He's right up there with them, and he does get over them.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Holy mackerel, what a period.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Leafs with a massive 6-3 win over the Edmonton Oilers. There's still lots to come, but we will take a quick break and get you set for our post-game show on Maple Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
March Madness is finally here. For the best analysis and coverage of the NCAA tournament, tune into SiriusXM College Sports Radio.
Oh, he bangs it home!
From the title contenders to the Cinderella teams, we've got you covered through the national championship in Phoenix.
We really don't know how teams are going to respond in March.
It's all on SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84, our Power 5 conference channels 371 through 375, and the all-new SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
The general manager of the Vegas Golden Knights, Kelly McCrimmon.
Vegas so quickly has become a place where players want to go.
Players appreciate that we're trying to win, and I think we've come to expect it. It's their livelihood and all of those things that go with it. So we try to do what we can to help that happen.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Toronto, they don't have a face card. Like, they don't have an ace. Morgan's a jack. They have so many non-face cards that these guys are going to have to bullpen by committee. Because the real truth is this, they got a good forward group. But if you don't defend against Boston and Florida, you're not seeing Boston or Florida in round 2. That's the exam, and the test will be on this defense.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the Sirius XM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the Sirius XM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter Miami game.
Messi, up, over,
and get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Network Leafs with a big-time 6-3 win against the Edmonton Oilers here at Scotiabank Arena on Hockey Night in Canada. It was a fun one. It got a little close in the end there. Some physicality, a big fight from Max Domi, some goals from some of the lesser stars of the Maple Leafs, but making their own way into the first star, second star, and third star of tonight's game. It was a really fun one.
Yeah, it was 40 minutes of near perfection for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The 20 minutes, maybe there's a couple things that they can work on in video, but the Maple Leafs hang on and win a big game. And yeah, nice to get some depth scoring. Mm-hmm. Nice to get another goal for Austin Matthews in an empty net. The vibes should be pretty good after this one.
Let's take one last look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary. At Bet365 must be 18 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly.
Okay, the Islanders beat the Jets 6-3. Flyers got a 3-2 victory over the Bruins. Blues over the Wild in overtime 5-4. Predators stay hot 1-0 over the Red Wings, and the Senators get a 5-2 victory over the Devils. Only one game ongoing right now. It's 2-2 Rangers and Panthers, end of second. Still to come tonight, second half on Hockey Night in Canada, Canucks hosting the Flames, and still to come from the West Coast, the Sharks will host the Blackhawks, the Kings will host the Lightning, and the Golden Knights will host the Blue Jackets.
All right, Leafs Talk with JD Bunkus and Sam McKee's up next. Thanks for listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs Talk, baby. JD Bunkus, Sam McKee. Weird one tonight, buddy. It's a laugher through the first two periods, and I actually trolled Oilers fans, and I sat there for the entire third with sweaty palms thinking that this one was going to be on me.
What'd you say?
I just said, people take the Oilers seriously, huh?
Oh. But I don't see my friend's tweets. I don't see one tweet of yours ever.
Like, I know your tweets don't come up in my thing, so I don't see what you say. So I guess I get
I mean, it's an algorithm for whose tweets you like and read and enjoy.
How do you like someone's tweets if they're not in your feed?
Yeah,
it's a chicken and the egg situation.
No, it's fine. Man. I know where I stand with you. You know, like I see all your tweets. You know, I see all your tweets. Actually, I usually stay off one. I usually stay off during the games. You know that, but yeah, I fired that one and I went, right. Of course, the Toronto Maple Leafs 5-goal lead is not enough. You know. Start taking Dumbo penalties in the third and then lose their goaltender. Where do you want to start? The good or the bad?
I think you got to start with the good. I think the third period was a classic score event situation where one team is asleep and one team's trying hard, and then their buttholes clench and it's too late. I think it got away from them there, where they just, they're up 5-0. It's happening quite easily. That was it. Hyman that scored the first one.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. We're doing the bad then first.
That trickles in, and it feels like I thought the Leafs played the first two periods were as well as they've played all year. I thought they were committed. I thought they played hard. Thought they were unbelievably good, and they were a product of that good play in the third period. So I take more positives from this one than I do in the negatives. Obviously,
absolutely you do.
But I think by far the biggest negative is clearly your goaltender's hurt. But I don't know where you want to go.
Well, yeah. Well, I think you just kind of hit it with the end. Like, we don't need to spend too much time on the end. I will just say this. They're a shorthanded team, so I'll give them some credit for the fact that they're missing like two of their penalty killers, right? And Yarncroc and Mitch Marner. And they're playing a bunch of guys up the lineup that probably don't play that many minutes, at least to start a period when you're protecting a lead. So some of it I'm like, oh yeah, okay, you can excuse a little bit. Part of it I do think is still some of the team's DNA. I won't lie. Is just the switch when they go to sleep like hard. They're you basically. They're not me, where it takes an hour and a half to actually fall asleep and wind down. They're you, where it's like they head to the couch, they put their head on the pillow, and boom, they're done. So like within 13 seconds, just ice cold for the entire night until it's time for TikToks in the morning. It's
okay. I'm listening. Yes.
I think that they have a tendency to do that. And then when they get in tight like this, that DNA, I do think also the tightening up gets pretty severe with them. I was pretty nervous.
I think the penalty kill is clearly an issue. And that's what it came down to tonight, right? They scored 2 power play goals in the third period. They didn't score an even strength goal tonight against the Leafs. They had the 6-on-5 and the 2 power play ones.
Yeah, they're a power play merchant team all the way through.
Absolutely. Like that really is when they had their most threats, is when they had a power play and they were up 6-on-5. Like that 6-on-5 is what horrors are made of. And if Nugent Hopkins shoots that in the net instead of right off the post, we still may be playing right now. So I do think that if there's one negative and it continues to be one, it's definitely the penalty kill. Again, it's a clear issue.
You don't buy the butt pucker thing with them a little bit more than other teams.
I really think there's a weird
against Carolina. Like I think that this is part of who they are. I got to say, like I do think they feel it, and part of the reason
I'm saying like how many teams like listen. There's clear like I'd be sitting here being an idiot arguing that the Leafs have had some bad moments where their butts puckered. Okay, like that would be a stupid thing to argue against. But in this game, it's just to me like how many teams that. They're 6-on-5 with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on the ice. It's not going to look like that. Like it's just they played the whole third period. Those guys are two of the best guys in the league. Like that's what a lot of Oiler games look like in a third period to me.
Yeah,
like if they're down and they're chasing it, I felt like McDavid played 11 minutes in that third period. He was on the ice the whole time, and he's really damn good. And they managed to not blow a 5-goal lead, which is what an accomplishment. I know it's not. No, it's not like right home about it.
Weird phrase. You're like they're doing it, but I just to me, I think that there is a part of them that tightens up worse than the average team. I do think that there's an energy with them that has been there, frankly, since the very beginning, and it's gone up and down. But when the world feels like it's fallen on them, I feel like they can kind of compound it at times. And good on Max Domi, because again, I think that he felt it. And he had that scrap basically going, hey, everybody, like wake up.
I don't want to play defensive hockey to the last 3 minutes, the last 7 minutes of this period. Honestly, Sheldon Keefe was like, yes, great fight. I don't have to put him on the ice. Honestly, I think that was part of it. And God love Domi, just chucking 100 misses.
Oh yeah.
They look great though. big fat misses. The arm coming all the way back. Just no reason for this fight. I think he slashed him a little bit in the offensive zone. He's like, no defensive hockey in a big game. I'm good.
Not my fault. Not my fault. Wasn't there. Okay, so the positives. I agree with you about the first two periods. Man, this is a shorthanded team, and they came out and they had a penalty kill, right? The very beginning of the game starts, and you go, oh my God, you're shorthanded. And like,
he's
sure.
by McDavid too. Holy hell. Like,
thought it was dive?
Oh yeah, he went flying. Like, watch. He tripped him. It's a clear penalty. But look at, oh my God, that's a 10.
Yeah, he
off
throws
the diving board, throws up the feet. Like, look at.
I was gonna say that's kind of a little bit of the worm there, maybe, but I don't know. It's a
penalty. 100% a penalty. Look at that. That's a dive. That is 100% a dive. But hey, I would have called. Hey, if I'm reffy, 100% call penalty. Trip. Best player on in the world has a puck in his stick, and a guy puts his stick in the leg. He's gonna get that call. But it was a dive. It's fine.
I just felt like good on the Leafs tonight. We criticize them sometimes for not starting on time, and the penalty kill was sharp to start. Edmonton's out there clearing the front of the net, getting into it with guys, blocking shots. Leafs kill a power play, and I thought that they played with just way more energy and way more force than the Oilers for basically two periods.
I think the Leafs knew what the narrative going into this game with Hyman coming in here and all of them talking about Hyman and them wanting to get the 50. And you saw Willie say something like that's basically the Messier guarantee from Willie. That's the first interesting.
I mean, he's joking around, but
I know, but it's like the first interesting thing he's ever said in a scrum. I was like, oh my God, what the hell is that? He might as well have said, we're going to guarantee we're going to win tonight. He might as well have said that.
I really did think there at the end when after Hyman scored the first and then it was 5-3. I was like, oh my God, he's going to score two of these and this is going to be the most embarrassing night. But yeah, go on.
I really did think that the Leafs took that to heart, and it felt to me that this mattered to them, and they just played way harder than the Oilers.
Yeah.
Like the Oilers they made so many mistakes off of the Leafs just pursuing them, playing harder, skating faster. Like Darnell Nurse, I don't know, like that, he makes $9.5 million or $9.25 million. I don't know how many mistakes he made tonight where he's just falling asleep. Listen, I thought that the Leafs played harder. I thought the Oilers had a bad night for the first two periods, but the Leafs went out and took it from them. They made them look stupid. It was as good as they can play, and it was close to as bad as the Oilers can play, I think. So it was a recipe for disaster.
So I Bill Simmons does the worst contracts in basketball every year.
Yeah.
I don't think there would be who would even be close to Darnell Nurse in hockey.
You're putting me on the spot here. Let me think.
I know, but you don't have to answer. I'm just saying he would clearly be in the conversation amongst.
He's a top fiver for sure. He's a top fiver for sure.
To be making that much money, and basically you never feel like outside of him doing the tough guy routine, which he does well. Like, man, I wouldn't want to eat a cross check.
I think he's tough. I think he's really tough.
I think he's tough, and I would never want to eat the lumber from Darnell Nurse. But outside of that, I'm like, what's the game? And on that team where they're so capped out and they could use so much so desperately, the fact that he's like eating that much cap space, it makes it even worse. I thought, dude, one of the biggest things in this game, listen, credit to the Leafs. Again, they're shorthanded, and a couple guys that start the year as AHL guys come up with 4 goals against the Edmonton Oilers. That's awesome. But I had two thoughts. My biggest two thoughts on this game outside of Samsonov that we'll get to were, boy, the Oilers are just kind of a brain dead team that give up horrific chances in transition. And they've got basically no material defense, and their goaltending is going to be shaky no matter what. Like, you're just not going to get a goalie for that team that you feel like is going to be a stud. I know Skinner has his moments, and there's always 2 weeks at a time where he tricks us, where he starts putting it together and you go, I think this guy's going to be really, really good. And then push comes to shove, he kind of lets in some softies, or you feel like he has nights where he doesn't make saves. And of course they could make a run because they have McDavid and Draisaitl in that power play, and they can feel like the world is on top of you when they're pressing the way that they did at the end of that third period. But to me, it's just like, if people want to say the Leafs can't win a Stanley Cup because of the way that they defend, you're telling me that Edmonton team is a cup contender? Like, no way.
Yeah, I think the reason people say they're a cup contender is because they have the best guy on earth, and they're pretty good and they've had a good year. But I think your point's well made. Like, if you're saying that the Leafs can't win the cup, then you should be saying the same thing about the Oilers. Or if you're saying that the Oilers can win the cup, you should say that the Leafs should win the cup because
100%.
they're very.
That's it. You can't have one. You can't have one and the other. They have to.
They're very similar teams, like really, really similar teams. Unbelievable high-end talent. With the Oilers probably having the high-end talent, we can sit here and debate, but it's pretty clear that they have the best guy, so therefore they have the edge there. With shaky defense, and you have no idea what you're going to get from your goaltending. It's scarily.
Leafs don't have that though.
Well, sometimes they do, bud. We went through a bit of a crisis this year.
Leafs
they have.
Yeah, sure, maybe earlier, but now Leafs are, I would say, one of the most envious goaltending positions in all of hockey. Like they got Joe Woll and hopefully Ilya Samsonov, but no, Leafs goaltending compared to the Oilers is night and day. They just brought in Calvin Pickard, bud. Like, are you kidding?
And the Leafs brought in Martin Jones.
yeah, as their third guy. That would be the Oilers' number 2. That's what I'm saying. No. I'm not having that. That's garbage.
What? Whoa,
no, the goaltending.
What's so wrong?
The goaltending discrepancy is night and day between these two teams. Not close. Like, not even in the same stratosphere. Leafs got 2 guys better than the Oilers' best guy. Like, flat out. Not close.
Okay. That's good. We agree. All good.
But yeah, so
bent to the shape.
No, not bent out of shape. I'm just saying, like, that's crazy to be like that. Those 2 guys are going to be touching the Leafs 2 guys. Pickard having a good year. Don't care. He's Calvin Pickard. If he's in a playoff game, I'm in a full nightmare zone. If I'm an Oilers fan, you can't trust that at all. That's like a couple of years ago when the Oilers had the Flames had our guy that we picked up at the deadline that year, who was having the incredible season. Riddick. That's it. Chronicles of Riddick. And they were like, oh man, it's a great backup. Goes in during big moments and gets absolutely.
It was traded a 3rd round pick for him.
Yeah. Not great. Anyways,
I don't know even how many did he play 4 games? Like that's got to be the worst asset management of all time. Like I don't know if he played 4 games.
I don't know if he did because Campbell was so hot that it was like that's like chat. The chat isn't even offering other nominations in the Darnell Nurse bad contract draft.
Ryan Graves signed an awful one this year with the in the offseason this year against Dubas, but it's really bad. But it's a really bad contract, and same with Tristan Jarry. So those are 2 really bad ones too.
So, like you said, I think that the Leafs played harder, but I also just thought a lot of this game was about Edmonton making
Riddick 4 games, 887. For the Leafs for a 3rd round pick. Woof.
Yeah, not great. They had to do it because they needed another goaltender, but yeah, not great that is what they ended up getting from it. I thought that the defensive zone breakdowns, the transition breakdowns, the brain farts from Edmonton were so egregious in this game. Like Adam Henrique not touching up for an offside when it's right there and giving up a transition like bad one. Austin Matthews beating somebody to a corner. I think it was Evan Bouchard, where he makes a beautiful pass. That's 2 games in a row, by the way, for Austin Matthews when it comes to making beautiful passes. Maybe he can do it. Did you hear
Borny on the show on Friday? The stats that he had about the passes to the slot since Marner's been gone? He's like his numbers, I forget them. I'd have to go back and listen to them, but he is like amongst the elite in the league with passes to the slot since Marner's been gone. And he was like, it's like 2 more per game than he's ever done.
But that makes sense.
No, but he's actually facilitating. He's passing more. He's like, there's a ton of metrics that say he's passing way more now that he has the puck more. So he's playing a more traditional center role as opposed to having the guy in his wing. But like, it's pretty eye opening to me how much better of a passer he's been without Marner around. So maybe that can continue when Marner comes back.
Well, I don't know if that's going to be the case. Like it's the composition of what he ends up with on his line and the role that he's asked to play. Like, I don't think anyone would argue that it's better off without Mitch, but I will say this is like the Domi Matthews chemistry continued again tonight. And I really do wonder what Keefe is thinking. Like, I'd love to get the truth serum from him. Like, hey, if there wasn't any politics in the room, if Matthews and Marner didn't have so much weight, would you give it a shot? Like, what would you like to do if no one was going to bitch and it was not going to be an issue whatsoever with who played where?
What would I like to do? Or if like,
no, I'm saying I'd be fascinated to hear what Sheldon Keefe would say about it. He'd probably say, yeah, I'd still go back to Marner Matthews, but I do wonder if this Domi stretch has opened his eyes a little bit to being like, maybe I will tinker a little bit when Mitch comes back.
Yeah, I think, he would still he is who he is, and I think it would come down to him still getting nervous about them in a playoff series defensively. And I don't think he would accept the warts with him throughout a full playoff series. But to me, this is something that you can go to in a game where you need it. Like even if he's not starting with those guys, but you're down a goal in the third period and you have Marner out there and you want to put Domi there and you put him up there for a little bit of an offensive jolt and you don't have to break up Nylander and whoever he's playing with. To me, it's just like it's a clear option that absolutely works in the offensive zone. Like those two guys are in sync again. And that goal, the one he passed to Domi and then he just reverses it against the grain right to Holmberg. I mean, that is a gorgeous play. And that's what it comes down to, man. Max just makes plays in the offensive zone. Like when you don't think he's going to be able to, he does, and he just looks great. And, he gets on the top power play unit tonight. Did they get 2 power plays tonight or 1? They got 2, right? They scored 1 power. They scored a power play goal on their first one, and then I think they only had 2. But to me, they put Domi out there, and it's the best it's looked in weeks. Like it's just a guy on the half wall that can pass. It's a more natural fit for a power play, and it just looks really good. So Domi, man.
Yeah,
like
he ripped the shot on that power play before the goal, and it was a good look. He was aggressive with
the post, I think.
I just love how Domi's patience really shows up when he gets to play with top end talent, right?
Yep.
Like we criticize him all the time we criticize him all the time all season for not shooting enough, right? It's always like, hey, he's passing too much. It's like when he's playing with top tier guys. Ends up looking a lot better.
It's like, this makes sense.
Yeah.
We're just passing it to David Camp, who beats it to a square. You're like, okay. That was a bad pass, Max. Passes it to Austin Matthews. It's like, wow, what a
dude, if he could play in the D zone at all, he'd be making a ton of money.
Oh, yeah. He'd be $8 million a year, 100%.
Yeah. Like he'd be pricing himself out for the Leafs. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Yeah. By the way, that I still didn't see how, like, obviously it's a nice tip by Nylander on that goal, the power play, good feed from Liljegren, kind of like the shot pass, not really looking to shoot, but it goes off his skate, right?
It's his stick and then his skate.
Yeah.
Watch.
Okay.
So it's a good angle here if you're watching. Watch. It hits his great tip and then it kicks a good bounce off his skate. So
really
beautiful.
Great tip. Really nice tip. So last positive for me is just that pretty pass by John Tavares in this game, like to feed Bobby McMahon. McMahon gets 2 goals in this game. Again, another one on transition. I just love this one. This is just a Bobby McMahon, good for you. In honor of March Madness, it's just a big man going to the paint and just finishing strong. Like,
can we roll that again? Watch Darnell Nurse on this play. Watch 25 and White. If you're watching on Sportsnet Plus or YouTube, watch this. He's still not in the frame. Can we get the wide view again? Yeah, it's tough now. But he honestly is coasting back. He's a defenseman. Like, where is he on this play? He's out to lunch. Look where he's coming in.
Yeah.
He's got his hands on his knees. It's unbelievable. Anyways, not to pick on him, but God, that was an awful play by him.
No, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. But yeah, it's sharp play by Tavares. Nice finish by McMahon.
Tavares has got the jump again. Yeah. Tavares has got the jump again. He looks like he's feeling rested. He's spry. I mean, I don't know what the amount is, but in his last 5 games, he's got a lot of points. I don't know what it would be off the top of my head.
I think it's 10 points in his last 5 games.
Really? It's that high? It feels like that, but that's a good stretch for him. That's how he always kind of gets up to close points per game, because he does go into the depths. He goes into the depths where we're talking about if he's done or if he's washed up. We have these conversations, and then he gets hot and he brings his point total up. I think the depths are a little lower than they used to be, and the highs aren't quite as high as they used to be, but like he's still 10 points in 4 games there.
4 games. Yeah. So it's 4.
It feels really like he's been really, really good. So, you're done on positives? Can I give you a positive for you?
Yeah, for sure. I just on the Tavares point that you make, I just think that the confidence in which he makes some of the plays right now is like very obvious. Even on some of the just like zone entries and the pass that they even make in transition right before Nylander sets it up for McMahon's second goal. He's just, you can see that there's just an energy to him right now, like he's playing well. He looks, this sounds stupid to say, but like he looks excited when he has the puck. He doesn't look lost. So pretty huge development for the Leafs down the stretch here, continues to be. And yeah, now they've had basically a bunch of different looks with Tavares. Like it hasn't just been one line combination for him that's worked. It's been a bunch of different guys in his orbit, and it's been working with every single one of them. So, yeah, no, good for him. What's your other positive?
Well, I like this line. Nylander, McMahon, and Tavares are good tonight. Edmonton is just, it was a good Edmonton night tonight.
Great Edmonton night.
I know that the penalty kill wasn't great, and he's on that. It's a work in progress. It is what it is. But, man, this guys hate him, eh? Like, they hate him, and I love that. Like, anytime he's around any star, he is whacking them. Like, he hammered Draisaitl multiple times with cross checks, hammered McDavid into the corner there. If you just saw, like, this guy is going to hurt somebody in a playoff series, and it's going to be like, he is going to put a hurting on somebody. I don't know if they're going to be out of the game or it's just, he leans on guys, and the Leafs haven't had a defenseman that does it like this. Like, Shen clearly was tough or whatever, and like, he was a guy that, good positionally, but Edmonton just feels like he's just dirty. Like, he definitely feels like he's a greasy dude, and he's going to do something greasy and get away with it. That's what he feels like to me. I loved his game tonight.
Yeah,
solid.
He just did everything as advertised tonight.
Yeah.
Like his block shots, clear the net, play nasty, get in other guys' faces. I love how, like, all those cross checks, like, he was feeding them to Leon. He was feeding Leon all night. And then, like, the best part of the game was that he got Leon Draisaitl off the ice during a penalty kill, which was great. It's kind of what you want. Put both guys in the box. No, I totally agree with you. I thought he was great tonight. Really 22-53. God, I guess he was on the ice with 6-on-5 at the end a lot. But they're leaning on him. And I think I got to give credit where it's due. And he's part of this, I think. And the bet that Tree made, that having the pressure of the trade deadline off of Liljegren, he's been pretty good, man. He's been pretty good, and I thought he was confident again tonight. Clearly still had a couple moments with the puck where you're like, but he just looks so much more decisive and so much more confident since the trade deadline. This is something they talked about where they're like, every other year we've replaced him, and this year we're not going to do that, basically. So Edmonton probably has something to do with him. He's been playing with him a little bit. I liked Liljegren's game again tonight, so got to give him credit because I ragged on him a lot this year. So when he plays well, I got to give it credit. Yeah, he was solid. Great breakout pass when it was the Nylander play.
And the read that he makes, he makes on the first goal where he dives down and pokes it down to Tavares, who makes a great play to Bobby McMahon. So I like giving him credit because I was hard on him, and he was solid again. So good on him.
The thing is that he's very much like, if you want to talk about guys with high highs and low lows like Tavares, like, this is kind of the MO of Liljegren. To me,
but I don't think he's been like really great. I just think he's been solid since the trade deadline. Like, better since the trade deadline.
No, he's been. I think he's been really good since the trade deadline. Just to me, it's like it's all going to come down for Liljegren this year in the playoffs, because if you scratch him a third straight year, and I don't know what that's supposed to say about how you're ever going to feel about his future, regardless of his age. Okay, last thing, Samsonov gets hurt at the very end of the game. Kind of a awkward play. He's going across, but nothing like
overslid a bit.
Yeah, overslides a bit, but doesn't look completely out of the ordinary. And I hate saying this, but you and I wonder right away if he's faking it, because sometimes he's been a bit of an embellisher with injuries. He had a stinger earlier in the game too, right? Like, that one puck went up high and got him. But yeah, if they lose him, that's crushing, because I actually, this is a pure eye test thing. I actually thought tonight he looked more like as confident as I've seen him in a really long time. He was brilliant tonight. Really, really, really good. And okay, good. It looks like he'll be fine, according to Keefe. So that's great news.
Okay.
Faker.
So not Faker? Dude, this guy left practice a week ago. It looked like his career was over. And then he's like, he's starting tonight. It's like, this one, he's going to be fine?
No.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm
surprised he's going to be fine.
But here's the thing. I'm guessing that he probably pulled his groin a little bit. And then when he was trying to get up and he was feeling it, he's like, man, we're going to lose this hockey game if I have to make a lateral. Like, we're one goal away. I got to get out of the net. That's my assumption here. Like, I know I'm joking about the Faker thing, but that's got to be what ends up happening here. He doesn't feel 100%. He knows that his team needs a healthy goalie in net, and he gets out.
I thought them starting him tonight was yet another statement in this goalie duo. Because I thought Wall was good enough against the Caps when they won on Wednesday night.
Yep.
And I thought he was good enough, and he won that game, and thought they'd go back to him tonight. and they started Sammy, and to me, that's a statement. They started him the Saturday night game on Hockey Night in Canada against the marquee matchup. They give Wall the scheduled loss tomorrow against the Carolina Hurricanes in the second half of back-to-back. So, that's a beautiful windmill save. That is, I don't even know where that puck is going, but it's just,
I think it's going to end up going high. It was some of the other ones though, man, that he was making tonight. It's just like, it felt like that. Even there, it's like there's no rebounds. He was reading the play well. He was calm. He wasn't like sliding too far. That's actually kind of funny about the injury play, is that it's like the one time that he seemingly overslid a little bit, but he's just at the top of his crease playing so confident. Pucks are dying out there, stretching across, making good pad saves, good glove saves. Just really good game from him. I got to admit, I keep expecting it to sort of like fall apart. There's been a couple of games here where, he's allowed 4 goals and none of them have been really horrible backbreaker ones, but it's been enough where you're like, oh, okay, he's probably going to pumpkin back. They're going to put him in a big spot against Edmonton, down a bunch of players. And this reeks of he lets in a couple of tough goals and the Leafs are chasing it. And no, it was the complete opposite tonight. So yeah, I know you always say the thing about how you can't believe it's the same guy. For me, I think it's more like, I can't believe he doesn't have a stinker game. Like, I can't believe he hasn't had one real stinker of a game, No,
he's let in 4 goals in 2 starts before this, but it wasn't like he was awful.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, you're right. Like, it's just, he doesn't, he had exclusively stinkers for a month.
Month of stinkers that somehow were winners.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I absolutely don't get it. And the last thing I'll say, there's few things as guaranteed as Corey Perry scoring against the Leafs. Like that. Why didn't we bet our life savings on that? That's just the stupid. I bet you that was plus 500 too. Like, really dumb not to bet so much money on that, because that is a guarantee. He came here early in the year with the crappy Hawks. He scored on a breakaway. He gets in here, just buries one. Of course he does. It's just, it always happens. Always. There's few things as sure as this.
I think Corey Perry to me is like, when we go back through the list of times the Leafs could have gotten him.
Yeah.
And the fact that this guy never wore the blue and white is insane.
Fine by me.
All he ever wanted was to play for Leafs, so it kills him every time. So
fine by me.
He lives to kill the Leafs for just the complete. Joe Thornton, 40 years old. They were like, we'd rather have Wayne Simmons.
No, it was
done.
Simmons. It was Simmons had a moment at the start, and then he broke his hand. He was never the same. But he was good, man. He was playing the top line when he first got here. He was. He's killing it on the power play, and then he broke his hand.
Yeah. You know what happens to old guys?
They get old.
Yeah, fast. Anyway, but except for Corey Perry, who keeps doing the damn thing, who keeps playing fourth line hockey incredibly well. Guys, just I think he's still one of the most underrated guys ever. Love his game, and really wish the Leafs would have grabbed him. All right, anything else for you? I'm done.
All good, Bubba.
All right, let's go watch the end of March Madness. Subscribe to the podcast, leave 5 stars, hit the thumbs up on YouTube, follow on Twitter and Instagram at JD Bunkus, at Sam McKee, and we'll see you tomorrow against the Carolina Hurricanes. Early one, 6 o'clock.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important news bulletin. Desjardins Insurance was spotted downtown helping everyone in its path. Unpredictable weather, fallen tree branches, wayward baseballs flying towards second-story windows. Desjardins Insurance is helping Canadians through it all. Is there nothing this large and friendly ally won't do for neighbors in need? Never before have we seen insurance with a heart so big it shows.
Desjardins Insurance, home and auto. Learn more at desjardins.com/heart.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick single-family homes come with a long list of features you've always dreamed of. Gourmet kitchens, freestanding tubs, and even fully finished lower levels. Dare to compare and you'll see why it's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
And now it's time for our Subaru weather report. So, Harold, what's it looking like?
Jim, it's a lovely spring day here on the beach. I came here for some solo time, like I do, but I got hungry instantly, so I went to Bob's Boardwalk Bistro when Bob says, sorry, cash only. Luckily for me, I always have a $5 bill stashed in my sandals, so I give it to Bob, and he says, we don't accept foot money here. That's how he talks. But now
Weather
I'm
reports
starving, and I'm
don't
looking
matter
for
when
something
you
to
drive
eat.
a Subaru. Visit your local Subaru dealer today and book a test drive during the all-weather drive event.
You've been listening to NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM. Head over to SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, for the best hockey talk.
Exactly, and to be honest, it filters through the media. I mean, I don't
know about that because you and Moj and McGahey and Katie are always perpetually very effervescent individuals.
I would agree with you, but there is a timidness, for lack of better words, when you go around Nathan MacKinnon that you're going to respect him no matter what. So the joking sort of takes a back seat when you're around him because he, I'm not saying he's not a fun-loving guy, but it's all business with him. And I think, who's going to benefit the most maybe from this? And I hesitate to say it a little bit because I'm not sure exactly of the culture in Buffalo, but Casey Middlestat, I think, will benefit from being around Nathan MacKinnon and sort of the attitude that there is one way, there is one direction, there is one goal. And it's too often used as a cliche, but I'm not kidding when I say that Nathan MacKinnon is an absolute bulldog in everything that he does. And it's infectious, and everybody in the locker room knows it. You respect it, you get on board, you're part of it. And when you were talking about angry, it is an angry thing, and it doesn't stop. And even after they won the Cup in 2022, I felt like he wanted another game almost. It's almost like he wasn't done playing. And that's sort of the attitude that I think this team has taken on because of Nate. And so angry might be the best way to describe it.
Get the latest news, opinion, and analysis from MMA to boxing and the professional wrestling world 24/7. SiriusXM Fight Nation, SiriusXM 156, and the SXM app.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, March the 23rd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., New York Islanders take on the Winnipeg Jets. Islanders on XM 219, Internet 938, Jets on Internet 951. 1 p.m., Philadelphia Flyers take on the Boston Bruins. Flyers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 941, Bruins on Internet 922. 2 p.m. Minnesota Wild take on the St. Louis Blues. Wild on XM 220, Internet 934, Blues on Internet 945. 5 p.m. Nashville Predators take on the Detroit Red Wings. Predators on XM 219, Internet 936, Red Wings on Internet 930. 7 p.m. Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Edmonton Oilers. Maple Leafs on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 947, Oilers on Internet 931. 7 p.m. New Jersey Devils face the Ottawa Senators. Devils on XM 220, Internet 937, Senators on Internet 940. 8 p.m. New York Rangers take on the Florida Panthers. Rangers on XM 223, Internet 939, Panthers on Internet 932. 10:30 p.m. Vancouver Canucks face the Calgary Flames. Canucks on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 948, Flames on Internet 924. 10:30 p.m. LA Kings face the Tampa Bay Lightning. Kings on XM 219, Internet 933, Lightning on Internet 946. 10:30 p.m. San Jose Sharks face the Chicago Blackhawks. Sharks on XM 222, Internet 943, Blackhawks on Internet 926. 10:30 p.m. Vegas Golden Knights take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Knights on XM 221, Internet 949, Blue Jackets on Internet 928. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, March the 23rd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., New York Islanders take on the Winnipeg Jets. Islanders on XM 219, Internet 938, Jets on Internet 951. 1 p.m. Philadelphia Flyers take on the Boston Bruins. Flyers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 941, Bruins on Internet 922.
Mad Dog Sports Radio has the best sports talk in the business. covering sports with a passion and knowledge you need. Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM 86, and the SXM app.
While most of the attention is on the NHL's upcoming postseason, Jason Gregor, host of The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440 AM in Edmonton, joins Dave McCarthy on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM Channel 91, to talk about a club that may not see playoff action for some time. Gregor says the recent deal that saw the San Jose Sharks send forward Thomas Hertl to the Las Vegas Golden Knights should have set off alarm bells for Sharks fans.
2 years ago, the Sharks were bad, but the organization didn't want to admit it. And so now, like, retaining salary for 6 years, I know it's only 17%, but it's still, like, man, like, so the Sharks are going to be terrible again, Dave, next year. And they can't even if they want to trade off some of their players, they won't be able to retain any salary next trade deadline because they have Burns, Carlson, and Hertl on retention. They can't do it.
Exactly, and then they've got two of those slots used up really almost till the end of time with Carlson and now Thomas Hertl. Like, does that almost tell you, is that a message being sent from San Jose to the fan base, to the players, being like, folks, buckle up. It is going to be some time before we get good again? Because, like, I like what you said. That's a real cautionary tale for Pittsburgh. What it would have meant if they had have signed Jay Gensel this year, it would have been the Thomas Hertl situation from a couple of years ago. Okay, they ended up getting there first, but what you've done is you've burnt 2 years in the process and haven't moved your organization forward. Like, you do have to look reality in the eye sometimes and recognize when you're not good and make decisions that you maybe would rather not make, but no, you have to. So at least Pittsburgh made the right call on that situation with Gensel. But is that to you a signal in San Jose that it's still going to be a long time before they're any good?
Oh, Dave, they've missed this will be, I think, 5 years in a row they missed the playoffs. And I'll say, like, so, because this is the first year they finally admitted they're rebuilding. So to me, I'll tell Sharks fans, you might have another 7 years before you're a playoff team. Like, look at their team. Like, who do they have? Like, which prospects do they have coming? Will Smith? Other than that, who else? They're probably going to have to hope that they are terrible, and then they win the draft lottery in 2 years and get the young kid out of Medicine Hat, whose name escapes me right now. Is absolutely killing it as a 16-year-old. But you know, that's kind of where they're at, man. They got all those bad, like Logan Couture. Now the concern about Logan Couture, Dave, is his career might be over. You know, health-wise for him. So, you know, they'll have an LTI space, but they're not going to spend at a cap. Like, why would they? The team's terrible. So, what they have to do is try to at least get guys on short-term deals, like Chicago's doing, right? To at least give a semblance of professionalism in your room around your young players. Have guys like Nick Foligno and other guys who are true pros. You know, and you pay him $4 million a year because you got all the cap space in the world. But like Vlasic's a $7 million player. Hasn't been a $7 million player for 4 years. Like, you know, there's another cautionary tale of. I think the one mistake in hockey, and more organizations need to inherit the Bill Belichick, and borderline on Vegas. Vegas is the one team that isn't afraid to be like, hey, nothing personal here, but guess what? If we don't think you can do it anymore, like they went out and got Thomas Hertl, basically telling the guys on their team now, well, we're not going to re-sign all. Like Jonathan Marchessault, you're probably done, right? Like they don't have money. They can't afford them.
MLB Network Radio is your home for 24/7 baseball talk, featuring on-site coverage of every major event from spring training through the World Series and expert analysis from former general managers and players. Sirius XM Channel 89.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Saturday, March the 23rd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., New York Islanders take on the Winnipeg Jets. Islanders on XM 219, Internet 938, Jets on Internet 951. 1 p.m., Philadelphia Flyers take on the Boston Bruins. Flyers on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 941, Bruins on Internet 922. 2 p.m. Minnesota Wild take on the St. Louis Blues. Wild on XM 220, Internet 934, Blues on Internet 945. 5 p.m. Nashville Predators take on the Detroit Red Wings. Predators on XM 219, Internet 936, Red Wings on Internet 930. 7 p.m. Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Edmonton Oilers. Maple Leafs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 947, Oilers on Internet 931. 7 p.m. New Jersey Devils face the Ottawa Senators. Devils on XM 220, Internet 937, Senators on Internet 940. 8 p.m. New York Rangers take on the Florida Panthers. Rangers on XM 223, 9:33 Internet 9:39. Panthers on Internet 9:32. 10:30 p.m. Vancouver Canucks face the Calgary Flames. Canucks on Sirius XM channels 91 Internet 948. Flames on Internet 924. 10:30 p.m. LA Kings face the Tampa Bay Lightning. Kings on XM 219 Internet 933, Lightning on Internet 946. 10:30 p.m. San Jose Sharks face the Chicago Blackhawks. Sharks on XM 222 Internet 943, Blackhawks on Internet 926. 10:30 p.m. Vegas Golden Knights take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Knights on XM 221 Internet 949, Blue Jackets on Internet 928. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Saturday, March the 23rd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., New York Islanders take on the Winnipeg Jets. Islanders on XM 219 Internet 938, Jets on Internet 951. 1 p.m. Philadelphia Flyers take on the Boston Bruins. Flyers on Sirius XM channels 91 Internet 941, Bruins on Internet 922.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is SiriusXM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. SiriusXM NBA Radio, SiriusXM 86.
The rebuild continues in La Belle Province. Connor McKenna is one of the co-hosts on the morning show on TSN 690 All Sports Radio in Montreal, and he joins Boomer Gordon on the point on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM Channel 91, to go over another season of rebuilding for the Canadiens.
I sometimes don't know where the Montreal Canadiens are in their development. When you assess this season, what do you think Habs management wanted this season to be? And if you are giving them truth serum, even though it's not going to be a